Jinx.
Hello, Jinx, and everyone else. Welcome to the Ironkeep Chronicles. I am your host and dungeon master. You are our guests. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for coming. I don't want to alarm anyone who lives in the greater LA area, but on my way here, I saw an old man with a beard loading elephants into an Arc 2x2. So it is a rainy afternoon.
Dude, I fucking believed you for like 10 seconds. I was like, wait.
That
sounds very LA.
That would be the
I was
least
coming
weird
from
thing
that
I've seen
same
today.
mark,
Yes.
though.
That is loud. Hello.
Some red shirt resubs extremely loudly. Welcome to it. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our game. This is week 2, episode 2, session 2 of the Rod of Many Parts here in the current season of the Ironkeep Chronicles. So thank you for joining us. It's a great time to jump in, and let's meet our players while we're at it here, everyone. Hey, to my left, also your left, is Mr. Kyle Caps, everyone.
Yeah!
I'm Kyle Caps, generally left. Just
Generally left.
Just in life?
If you just keep looking over here, there's Kyle Caps.
There we go.
Hey,
Keep it going. Keep it going.
I am playing Jorvanzal Calcornin, better known as Badger, the gnome ranger, warden of the Iron Keep. Though, if you guys were watching last season, there's no...
Last week.
Sorry, the Iron Wood, but even the Iron Keep, there's none of that. None of it exists. The multiverse is destroyed. We got nothing to do.
None of it exists. It's all in our minds.
Holy shit.
Don't get meta on it. That's for the season finale. Eric, what is Jorvan going to miss most now that the universe has been destroyed?
Mushrooms?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Duh. Good.
His meticulously tended to crop of
Sure,
wild mushrooms.
my families are dead, but mushrooms.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is gonna be fun.
I'm not going to miss Low Storm. Fuck her.
I miss her. She'll be back. She'll be back.
Maybe she survived much like you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her ticket from Prague's got to be back at some point.
Ticket to Prague?
Yeah, she's over there right now. She's in
Oh, you mean her?
I meant
Don't
Kate.
get meta on me.
Oh, God. The universe means
He's
nothing.
not talking about Shmamy Schmorple.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Shmerstrina Shmeriel.
Hi. Oh my God. That's my name, kind of, but not really. Thank you guys for being here. I'm Christina Ariel, and you would probably know me from making your day all the time. But no, really, I'm going to be here playing... I play Regardless, and she's a saber-toothed tiger, and she's just really, really the greatest character on this show because she's, like, awesome. But that's, like, neither here nor there.
Last episode, I killed your master and destroyed the forest where you lived. What's left for Regardless to live for?
Well, you know, sometimes you have to find things that make things better, like new friends to go on new adventures with, while also dealing with emotional toil on the inside that's killing you slowly and seeping out into the world.
Whoa. Heavy, man.
But no, other than that, like, I have so much to look forward to. The whole world's been destroyed, so the new world's my oyster.
So you're looking for so really the power of friendship is the only thing that's keeping you going. That's what I took away from that.
I mean, friendship is magic.
I agree with that. I feel like that we had a great bond during the Warlock War, or whatever that was called.
You, like, carried me by my
You fought in the
paw.
Clone Wars?
I knew your father. He was also top boy.
That's not true.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Havana, Mahoney. You've been gone for a week. We all missed you. Except you're on the internet all the time, literally every
Don't act
day.
like you weren't just gonna skip us.
Like me, I understand, but Havana?
Sometimes I kind of wish this off the table.
We can fucking leave.
You invite us here!
Look out though, it's raining.
They're gonna kill each other off before it's all said and done. Like, let's just face it.
You listen, don't get mad at me before I give out my presents.
Ooh.
Your presence.
Present?
My
Will
presence.
they also be part of the Rod of Seven part or several parts?
Oh, don't give us your rod. I'm Havana. Hello. I play Thrum, a Kinku bard extraordinaire who's changed a bit over the past couple of years. Found a little darkness within herself, and now the nothingness. What will happen to our little bird? Only time will tell.
Is there anything from the old universe that Strum is desperately hoping survived?
Her gold records.
I mean, she did a lot. She did a lot of work getting those fairies repopulated in the wood, and now what? It's all gone. You just work for 2 years, and suddenly it's just all gone.
Hey, Kyle, change
She's
seats.
fine.
You're about to get punched again. For
I
those
didn't
of you
punch
who
him.
missed it last
Didn't
week,
punch him.
I don't like it.
Havana slammed her fist right into the side
I
of Eric's
did
head.
not.
And it's only through the magic of corrective surgery and a lot of therapy over the past week that Eric's countenance has been something you can even look at.
As you can see, it didn't work real well.
No.
Yeah.
You would know if I punched you because your eyes would have popped out. I know exactly where to hit.
like a cartoon cat.
Don't act like that can't happen to a human. 'cause
No,
it
it would
really
be.
can.
It wouldn't be like that. It would be the hit, and then it'd be like the two
It would dangle.
two pool balls. Just be like.
Oh,
Pool
okay.
cues?
Yeah, no.
What are your eyes? Just 2 pool cues in the night.
Hey, he just took a drink. It's Eric Reichert, everyone.
Hi.
Dang, I was hoping to catch him. Needs more tea in that glass.
No, I've been drinking it.
It's just microwave juice.
Yeah.
Microwave juice.
Well, you know, Eric, he loves his hot juice.
It's what you get when you squeeze the microwave.
Well, there's a lot of water damage in the microwave, so you just tilt it over. Good stuff. Good stuff.
There is like sagging sheetrock in the ceiling of the bathroom right now. The building, we may get swept away.
I told you to quit peeing on the ceiling.
Come on, Tom.
There's so much happening right now.
What are you gonna miss, Eric? Or Alton?
Alton, I don't know. He's
Gonna miss that dick.
probably he's gonna miss that. But look at it this way:
It's true.
he technically probably has the best butt in the universe.
Well,
Through process of
No
elimination.
leggings,
I think last time we checked though, he only had a 1-per-1 booty going
Okay,
on.
that was
Yeah,
That's
you roll,
true.
yeah, but
You
one
get a
bad
really
roll
bad
doesn't
butt.
make a man.
one bad butt day does not make
It's
for
the
a bad
same
butt.
day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is it? Time is an illusion.
I was gonna say, is it even day? We don't even.
is it
know.
even year?
Oh.
Yeah, great questions.
I tried so hard.
So welcome everyone. This is the Ironkeep Chronicles. This is our Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition game. If you don't know what's going on, that's okay. You can tune into last week's episode on the VOD or catch it over on the YouTubes and get up to speed relatively quickly. This is sort of a whole new
Well,
arc.
you really have to watch from the beginning to get it. So
Yeah, honestly, even last week, not a lot happened. There was just the Tarrasque and the whole world collapsing on and on. So.
and the Seski Tarrasque.
Oh, that's right. The Tarrasque, the sexy Tarrasque.
Yes.
It really, yeah.
It was a sexy
Ah,
class.
last week, the party was confronted by an old nemesis who had 6 of the 7 pieces of the Rod of 7 parts, demanded the last final piece from Thrum, who said no. Vitha Enshrouds then unleashed the Tarrasque upon the party.
Oh, that's right. In shrouds.
The party defeated the Tarrasque by summoning a sexy illusionary doppelganger Tarrasque.
Well, we ran away from it successfully.
And then, yeah.
Defeated, Kyle. Defeated. How dare you?
Ran
Defeated adjacent.
Yeah.
ran into a magic circle that was sort of at the conflux of several ley lines and was creating a channel between multiple different planes at the same time. That appears to have gone horribly wrong because they woke up to find that the universe had been destroyed.
I'm still not convinced. Maybe our eyes are closed.
Yeah, you
Does
could
it make us
just be
planeswalkers?
sleeping it off. Ooh.
Darn
I mean,
tootin' it
more
is.
like planes kickers. If you would like to join the Fast and Furious donation action, which is happening in our chat right now, you are more than welcome to. If you do ! Unlocks, you can see the various things that are on our Ladder of Joy. There are some special
Ladder
treats
of
for the players here if you would like to be generous to them. There's also another thing that I have introduced that's going to be ongoing throughout the rest of this arc.
Wow.
So for the next
Look at that.
tonight and the next
I'm embarrassed.
tonight and the next 5 sessions, we will be encouraging you to participate in our faction wars. Now that the multiverse has been destroyed, various factions are trying to reshape whatever shall arise Phoenix-like from the ashes of that burnt out multiverse. And you can influence what type of dominion or what type of rulership will shape that that outcome. And I have some things in mind for the season finale. So it's a little mini game for those of you at home to play along with and maybe vie with each other over. Hopefully we've gotten some contributions. You can do !factions and see the document that I wrote up that explains in more detail what that's all about.
Do we get our own faction?
You are your own faction. Come on, you are the.
Oh, what are we called? We're called.
Saber-tooth overlords.
Why is it?
I feel
Why
like
is it
that's
gotta
very
be a saber-tooth
specific,
thing?
yeah.
Because I am going to be the
That's-
overlord of this realm.
That's
Well-
conceded. It should be Alton and the Not Top Boys.
Very good.
I'm actually okay with that.
I'll
So
be top boys.
yeah, you can do
Top men.
!subs, !unlocks, or !factions to see all the various ways that you can influence the outcome of tonight's events. Speaking of subs, hey, we've got some people who've subbed up and are issuing re-rolls to our various players here. So thank you very much to everyone who subbed. Big thanks to everyone who has contributed a donation so far. Really appreciate that. That's how we keep the lights on here. So let's start with our re-rolls, shall we? So Emperor Riptide sends a reroll to the table. So I assume that's not one each, right, Dom? That's just for the table for anyone to grab, not playing favorites. Appreciate that sense of fairness. Shimmickson also sends a reroll to the table, so that's 2.
Well, you can't use a table reroll. You cannot.
Where am I sitting, if not at the table?
No, you can't. No. Right? Well, let's take a vote. Can Tom use the table rerolls?
Yes.
No. Can he not use the table rerolls?
No.
Hold on. What's happening under there?
He's going down into...
His rerolls could kill us. Doo-da, doo-da.
Jonana Banana sends their reroll to Havana Mahoney. There's one. Artful Badger also sends a reroll to Vanna.
Thank you.
Some Red Shirt sends their reroll to me.
Oh, that shit coming.
Naughty It sends their reroll to Havana Mahoney.
It's naughty.
Modern Chow sends their reroll to Christina.
Thank you.
Very good, very good. All right, and then also a couple things have also been unlocked. So we're using Chaos dice again. I don't know if you remember those from last week, but they are dice which can either potentially add
We remember.
or subtract from your D20 rolls. So everybody gets 2. I'm going to use these tokens for that. Kyle, you get those. These are graciously provided by Campaign Coins.
Thank you.
If you'd like to get
Chaos dice.
some of your own.
I love them so much.
So that's that.
Use them all the time.
Also, we had this unlocked last week. I think you might have forgotten about it. Give me a breather. As a bonus action, each PC can heal themselves 3d6 hit points.
I didn't take damage
I
because
didn't
Alton
take damage.
is the best at everything.
I took
The best there ever was.
Here's a quick preview of later in tonight's session. More fireballs. All right, and
Spoiler
finally, inspiration has been unlocked for the table.
Has it been unlocked? Give it to me. What's it look like?
Well, funny you should ask that,
Uh-oh.
because somebody decided to go to El Storamundo and get some treats for his lovely new players.
What? Gifts?
What? Gifts?
Not gifts, but gifts.
Oh, I'm going to save this one for last.
The actual
So
store, or did
here is a new Strum Thrum. And they didn't have any bird ones. That's the closest.
That comes with a bird, though.
It comes with a bird. That's as close as I could get.
Got a bird on it.
Oh, I was like, what movie is this from? It's from Destiny.
Here is a delightful top boy,
Oh yeah, that's very top boy.
which makes
Oh, yeah. Yes.
sense.
Roberts.
You know, if you wanted to continue using your old pop figure, but I got you Clark Kent for Jordan, which I don't know. The cape is what spoke to me. And then guess what? They don't have any saber-toothed tiger Funko Pops.
You didn't just buy a blank one.
So
and
I
paint it?
got you this super weird predator hound.
Oh, look, Jedi me!
That's adorable.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
So yes, there you
Thanks,
go.
Tom.
You are
I've never
welcome.
taken one of these out of the box before.
Oh, I don't know if I'm not sure you're
Oh,
supposed
my
to.
Ariel.
Yeah. It's lost all value. It's worthless now. Throw it away.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, he's
throw it away.
hit.
Oh, you can't stand.
Oh, is the feet too tiny?
Oh, there's a base. Hold on.
They can't stand. What's wrong with defeat?
Oh.
Get out of my house.
All right, very good. So, with that in
You just can
mind,
stand up.
Because he's the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Mostly.
he's very cool. Very cool. All right, so if you recall, at the end of last session, are these just random Cracker Jacks?
Yeah, I brought coffee.
Oh, thank you. At the end of last session, you were sucked into the magical vortex. And then there was a bright light, thunder crashes, other various sounds. You saw the congealing, swirling smoke descend in upon you. And when, after an indeterminate amount of time, you finally awoke, you opened your eyes to gaze upon some sort of creature that had like or two of them actually, that had like a blank canvas mask over whatever sort of face it would have. And they were wearing woven crystal robes. And they said, finally, they have awoken. And they informed you that you survived, but the multiverse did not. So you've kind of, out of this long tunnel vision, this groggy state that you find yourselves in, you begin to sort of shake it off, and you notice that maybe the first thing is that when you take a breath, that the air seems a little bit thinner, as if you were maybe at elevation, at the top of a mountain or something like that. As you draw breath, it just doesn't seem to fill your lungs the way you're used to. And that seems odd to you. But you're gazing at these two bipedal, look like kind of humanoid creatures, dressed in, it might be ruby. It's strange though, because the crystal comes in strands and it's all woven together into these very thick braids that form these robes that they wear. There is a slight tinkling as they move their joints, back and forth, as they kind of. It appears that they have been ministering to you in some fashion. You're in a very dim room. The floor is stone cobbles, but the walls appear to be rusted iron, and the room is cylindrical. It's probably 30 feet across. There is a makeshift ladder, or actually a lattice of scaffolding that goes up, and you can tell that in one corner of the room there's a similar lattice of scaffolding that kind of comes up through a hole that's been carved in the floor in the cobblestone. The cobbles have been removed, and there's a scaffolding that goes down. It's very dim in here and fairly sparse.
Are we lying down? Or
Yeah, you're lying down. So you're lying on. You're lying on sort of outstretched. You can tell that there's canvas that's then covered with maybe like a layer of felt, right? And the felt is patched together from various different pieces of felt. It's not like one big solid rectangle of felt, but it's definitely a bunch of pieces that have been stitched together. And they've been stitched together in such a way that they almost form like a circular nest around each of you. You are actually lying on your sides when you wake up, kind of like curled into the fetal position, right? The one thing that especially kind of strikes you is that you are just clutching furiously onto the one piece of the rod that you have,
Okay.
right? And it looks like your possessions, they aren't necessarily on you per se.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wearing your cloak, and you don't have your claw gauntlets on or anything like that. But they have been rather delicately placed within the folds of this circular felt nest that has been built up around each of you, right? So there are 4 of these things kind of in a pod together in the center of the room. And as you look around, you notice that you're actually on a little bit of a raised wooden platform. So this nest is not on the cobbles itself, but is raised up off the floor ever so slightly. The wall near the scaffolding that goes up does have an especially thick patch of rust, and there's condensation and kind of like dripping what appears to be water kind of like running down the side of this thing, not at a regular flowing rate, but just sort of like an occasional drip drip drip. So yeah, you're curled up, kind of bundled into these nests, and you realize that it wasn't necessarily so much that your eyes were closed and you slowly open them. It's that as you began to stir, these what appear to be 2 creatures began to peel back the top layer of this nest and let some more light in. That you were actually sort of inside this like funnel or kind of cocoon of felt.
Well, it's not the best place I've waken up, but it's not the worst.
What's worse?
I automatically feel to see if like anything weird's kind of gone on.
Okay.
Like wings or any other thing. That,
Hey everyone, at the $500 level, Kyle gets wings.
Also, what are you trying to say? Wings are weird?
no,
I have wings.
I just emerged from a cocoon. I'm looking for like transformation.
And then if he had
Oh.
wings, that would be super weird, because anyone who has it, and that's his opinion, not mine, anyone who has wings is a freak. And he's
I
allowed
did
to
tell
have
you
it.
that last week. I regret it, but I do
So
remember.
Strum cuts Jorvin's throat.
Goodbye,
I just think it's really weird that we're in a nest, because I feel like that only caters to like one person in the group, and like I would like.
Yes,
a
I like to be
cavern.
swaddled. Oh, you mean
Is it super comfy?
Oh yeah. It's actually when the top kind of comes off of this thing and you feel the chill air actually touch you, like the heat rapidly sort of like escapes from the cocoon area, and there's this slight breeze, and it is a bit like being at the top of a mountain and like opening the tent, just like that bracing kind of crispness hits you, and yeah, it's not particularly.
Can you shut that? It's cold.
I like it.
I can tell your nipples are so hot.
Jorvin's like, ah.
Are we naked? I'm always naked. No, I'm not. I wear clothes.
Don't you have a
Am I naked?
Just wear a fancy hat.
I have a nice hat. I mean, right?
Yeah, you do. You
trust
have a
Strum with
nice
the
hat.
Yeah. Am I naked? Tom's deciding if we're naked.
Let
Roll
me
for naked.
roll for naked.
How naked am I? You're
No,
5 naked.
So what's interesting is that there's the nest of felt, but then you're actually wearing sort of a silk.
Am I wearing
Everyone's wearing like
lingerie?
no,
Bird lingerie.
It's almost like a silk onesie, right?
Lingerie.
But it's actually just like a giant body sock. So
Lingerie.
so you,
Yeah. Do you know what lingerie is?
Roll a d6. If it's a 6 or below, you're naked.
hang on, I'm just gonna Google this.
Lingerie. Live on stream. Do it. Do not.
Onesie lingerie.
Do not Google Cookie Monster in bed. That doesn't work for you. Wouldn't work out well.
No. So
Now
so
I'm
so it's almost like a
No,
like a
you
like
know. You know what it is.
it's like a silk sleeping bag, basically, that kind of like goes up to your neck.
Oh, we're caterpillars.
Your arms are sort of
Sexy
crossed over you,
caterpillars.
and it seems to be like one continuous piece of silk with a little drawstring that like snugs up around your neck.
But we're all in separate ones. Like
Yeah,
we're not sharing.
each of you are in a separate nest, as a matter of fact. It's only until you kind of like, sit up that you can see that the other three of you are there.
Yeah, I'm like super confused. So even before I sit up, you just hear like me call out. I'm like, Strum, Strum, anybody?
Torvin, where are you?
Where are we?
I think I'm in the womb.
I'm definitely. This is not what I remember the womb feeling like.
You remember the womb?
Very rarely. As every once in a while, I'll have some mushrooms and it takes me back.
That really attracts me.
All right.
I'm gonna try and get out. And then I just start throwing. So she's laying totally still, and then she's just like, I'm gonna try and get out.
And I mean, the talons on your feet are fairly sharp, right? So you just kick out and there's this rip, and within seconds you are free. And there's little tattered remains and strips of silk that kind of flutter briefly into the air. And
She
then
can
settle down.
manage it. I think she wants to fly up as far as she can, just to get a bird's eye view of the situation.
Okay, so you light up onto the scaffolding. Are you going to try and go up through the?
No, I'm not trying to like piss her off. I'm just like.
Okay, so you're kind of just like a classic like bird out of a cage,
Exactly.
up and roost up in the highest corner of the room there. And you look around and you see these two crystal-clad figures begin scrambling over toward a small, what looks like a felt box, but it's chest-sized, but it is very clearly like folded over felt and pinned together. And they flip the top open on this thing, and maybe it's like a chest or a large basket, and they begin rooting around, and they produce these large. They look like eggplants, right? They're purple and they're bulbous, but they're not eggplants because you can tell that they're filled with some sort of fluid. They're like a bladder of some kind, and they turn to you and and they say, You are still recovering. You should not overly exert yourself.
You shouldn't overexert yourself.
Got him.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's just you see Alton's head pop up and look around and go, got him. And one of them comes over to you and begins sort of handing you this bladder of.
Is this alcohol?
We don't believe it's alcohol, no.
Can you get some?
Alcohol is, the Brewmaster's Guild might be able to produce some for you.
Huh? What is...
It is plant milk.
Cool. Hey, Jorvin, want some plant milk?
Every day.
He's crying.
We call it grada.
Oh, Jorvin.
I'm still like rubbing my eyes, like
Jorvin.
sitting up in this thing, just like, where are we? Am I tripping? What's
I literally just chuck it. Jorvin, have some guava.
what?
And like Alton's gotten completely out of his sack, his like pajama thing.
I catch it.
Okay, you catch it. You do, when you catch it, you do look down and you realize you have grown incredibly long fingernails.
Oh,
Like
sweet.
your fingernails are probably a good 2 inches long.
Gross, that's so
Guys, mani-pedi time.
I never thought you would ask.
Alton has already
Yeah.
a little kit.
And the other two figures begin to, one of them brings you some grata and
I'm still trying to figure out how this thing works. Is it is it essentially like a water balloon, full of liquid? Do I have to figure out how to
Except it's purple and you can tell that it's almost like a pumpkin or a squash where it's got a little vine stem on the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these
The breast
figures says, if you snap off the vine, then you can drink from it, but you have to drink it all at once, or it will begin. You'll squirt it all over. It's
I down the whole thing.
it's very messy.
I down it. But so I down it so it doesn't start leaking. But I was just previously shot full of bullets, so they it all.
Bullets?
No, I'm just a cartoon show.
Oh!
Also the mask.
Also what?
Also in the mask.
Yeah, well, he's taken from all the old
Oh my
Tex
God,
Avery
but
jokes.
And
this is a
Westworld.
different
Yeah.
game if you've been shot a bunch. Different game.
Is it a different game?
God damn, if you keep making this shit sci-fi, I'm gonna quit. God
So-
damn it.
Excuse me, little whatever you are with the diamond stuff all over you. Do you have any meat?
Let's see. Do they have any
I bet
meat?
they're made of
That's a
meat.
great question. Let's
I mean, if
find
they don't
out.
have any meat, then I'm gonna need to get some.
I'll help you kill them.
So all our stuff is like our clothes and all our stuff is sitting.
Oh my God, is our egg there?
Only on your face.
That's our child you're talking about?
Yeah.
Show a little bit more concern.
I thought you said, are there eggs for breakfast? I didn't know you were talking about our.
You want to eat our child?
Polenta.
I would never eat polenta unless it was the bread polenta, not our baby.
I'm filing for custody.
What are you gonna? Who's gonna give you rule over the
These
first?
crystal men, of course. I'm sure they have forms.
They look bureaucratic as shit.
The crystal people, for God's sake.
I don't approve.
This appears to be an oversight on our part. We are vegetarian. We apologize. We can procure some rat meat if that is what
Wait.
you desire.
All of known existence
It'll
is destroyed,
do.
but rats still made it through.
Hello.
But all our stuff is there.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So
Yeah.
Alton just starts smoking.
Is our egg there?
I mean, in a pinch, rat. Proper spices. Yeah.
I look down at
Don't
my
act
bag
like
of
you
mushrooms
eat
and contemplate it for a second, but I'm like, nah, this is too weird. I gotta
Where's our
keep
baby?
straight right now.
Alton's sitting at the edge of his thing. He hasn't put on clothes yet. He's
Yeah.
just still.
He's naked? Were we naked?
Looking good, Alton.
Yeah, you had a
But under that we were naked?
yeah.
Well, everyone can see up my skirt. My feather skirt.
We can see way more.
Your
than
cloaca?
feather skirt.
Everyone can see into my cloaca. It's really embarrassing.
We see your Aarakocra.
Don't look there.
I really regret going down this line.
Shouldn't have given us.
So you look around for the egg, and it's not in your nest of things. You kind of look around, and regardless looks around in your nest for the egg, and you can't find it. And you kind of, and then
Where's my baby?
you realize that although it's been easy to overlook, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a very small little cocoon of felt that's kind of spun up, and it's got the top on it still.
Bitch hatches. I'm gonna freak out. Okay, I'm gonna fly down to it and unwrap it, see if it's okay.
Okay. You fly down there and pick the top off with your talons, and sure enough, inside is the golden egg that you won from Hargat Axebinder last session. The griffin egg. The
I was so
golden
worried
griffin
about
egg.
you.
That Alton won, but gave to them. He doesn't care about the egg. He just wants everyone to know he won.
Don't scare me like that ever again, Polenta.
We love you, Polenta Carlisle. You're the best baby ever that's never been born.
The best
Ever.
almost baby.
You're the best egg. Are you gonna like sit on it?
Why would I do that?
Because you need to like make sure that it's like whatever, like what's that thing called? Like incubation. Like you need to incubate it. You
Why
need to
can't
like
you sit on
because
it?
one of us
You're
has
bigger
to
than me.
yeah, which means I would probably crush it. And you're also like a bird, and don't birds like lay eggs? So like I feel like
species.
it's your place.
It really is.
Is
I
on
think that's
top
a
of an
really
egg.
intense generalization about the Kinku species.
A bird's place is in the nest. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I'm filing for a divorce.
You're not taking my baby.
It's our baby.
Not if you try to take her from me.
Okay. Nothing else is going on.
just this. Just our baby.
just your chat.
Just our
Alton-
marital problems.
Alton basically turns the two guys. So questions are: where are we? Why are we? Who are you? What? And
What
Why
am
are
I?
you?
Why am I here?
mostly questions.
What? Are we naked?
I
Yeah.
I am.
I'm definitely naked.
roll for pain.
I like only wear fur. But it's not murder, it's me.
Yeah. I agree, though. Where are we? What is this?
I am Tessarion, and this is my twin, Elisar.
I'm gonna
Elisar and
try to write
Kalisar?
that down, but
Tessarian.
Tessarion.
Kalisar I like better. Okay,
Well.
Tessarian.
Great.
There's no need for quotation marks. That is my name. It's
oh,
not a,
Allegedly.
not a pseudonym.
I'm glad that this world has quotation marks. That was
Sarcastic quotation.
yeah. I was
Allegedly.
really
Yeah.
hoping that wasn't. That, yeah.
There are many things that have been salvaged from the remnants of the great worlds.
Except for meat.
No, there is rat meat in abundance. We have a great problem with rats, as a matter of fact.
Oh. We go from Tarask to killing rats in the basement.
It's like
have a
level
magic
20 to
wand.
level 1. One day we'll be able to take on Candyland.
I think Avril was higher level when she almost died by rat.
No, that was like I think we were like level 2 or 3.
Really? Okay, maybe 3.
We're level 5. Rats more maintenance.
Yes, you are
It's a trap.
aboard the Ark
ship
Reliquary. This is the main stronghold of survivors from the Great Cataclysm, which was unleashed.
What was the? What?
The Ark Reliquary.
So based on this context clues and everything else, everything was destroyed except for a handful of things. Us being part of that handful.
That is relatively accurate.
You're welcome.
What is your understanding of the structure of the planes?
Well, they.
You know,
I know
it's
that the rain.
Oh my god,
falls
stop.
On the plane.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it was taught. I skipped a lot of those lessons.
Then how did you get to be top boy? I thought you had to take those classes.
No,
He dropped out.
Oh, okay.
You're a top
Because he
boy
murdered
failure.
somebody.
He just got top boy and then was
They
like,
don't know
"That's
that."
it, done, no more
Well, now they do.
going out on top."
I
Top
feel
boy
like so
is-
deceived right now. How will you ever be top man?
He never graduated. He's top man.
So you have no understanding of the structure of the planes.
No, there's
No, we're a bunch of
a
dummies.
forest, and there's a town,
Yeah.
and there's the river,
Yeah, the mountains,
Mountains.
and then the plains, and the forests.
the Iron
and...
Keep.
And it was
I
like
Everybody's dead.
there's like discs involved.
Well, when we were at the Iron Keep, I know Winward and some of the others talked about essentially this existing on multiple planes of existence,
Right.
though that was pretty much over a lot of my head. There's like multiple like mountains or worlds or planes or...
There are many theories of how the planes are structured. Some say that there is a great wheel and that the prime material plane is at the center of it. Others have posited that there are multiple universes all concurrent with each other, all simultaneously stacked on top of each other or perhaps interwoven.
I've gone like glassy-eyed.
Next, you're gonna tell me that somehow some sort of interdimensional ship pierced a hole between them and is causing a rift in space-time, and that somewhere thousands of years now, someone's gonna have to deal with that.
To be honest, no one is quite sure what caused the rift in space-time. We know that the Tarask was slain, and that, of course, is the
You want
embodiment
mushrooms?
or the
Your mushrooms are gone.
control mechanism for chaos in the universe.
The Tarask.
The Tarask consumes things. It is the embodiment of chaos, and when it was slain, that chaos was unleashed.
Oh, who slayed it?
It is unknown.
Oh. Because I ran away.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't remember killing it, and I remember killing most things I've killed.
Yeah. The closest we got the closest to fucking it.
No, making it think it's fucking something else that's not actually there.
It's called an illusion. Look it up.
Which was a fantastic
I
illusion.
feel like I just broke Hannah.
Also, do you think my name is Hannah?
I'm
What
sorry.
the fuck is going on right now?
Oh.
If it was,
I'm
we'd get the
sorry, man.
best of both worlds.
Oh, I hate all of you so much.
Everyone knows her name's Bandana.
Regardless of whatever,
Bandana?
regardless of whatever
Havana bandana.
theory
Obviously.
you may have ascribed to, I have to tell you that unfortunately all of these theories are incorrect. The universe is structured in such a way that there is chaos at the core, a plane of sure chaotic energy, an ever-burning green fire which twists time and space and the various forces of the material universe. Surrounding that chaos were the material planes, such as, I assume, where you came from. These material planes acted as a lens which would channel the beliefs of the people who inhabited those planes to the outer planes where the gods dwelled.
Can I give you my takeaway?
Hmm.
I don't know if you said like evergreen or evergreen. Like, is it like an evergreen forest or like it's an evergreen light that blows in the center of the universe?
More the latter than the former, although sometimes forests have been known to spontaneously arise and then decay and fall away. Unfortunately, it's not just the elements which are in flux here. Time itself is also in flux.
Are we like time traveling like right now?
Well, in a sense, you are always time traveling, but the rate at which time passes is highly variable here in the primordium.
I mean, could you? I mean, I'm not to my own corn, but aren't?
Took your own corn? Took your own corn.
Yeah,
Who
we're,
took
we're
your
not
own
really
Who took your
time
corn?
traveling.
I took
because
my
we're
corn.
always now. You know, at least for us, we're always now. We're never then or
You
about
gotta
to.
live in the now.
We can't do anything but live in the now. So we are always at a
You
fixed
gotta.
point.
So how do you?
Yes, that
know
is
the
one of the limitations of your mortal essence.
Whoa, wait, are you not mortal?
We are attempting to transcend mortality. This is a very hostile plane to mortals, and it is
I'm mortal.
rather remarkable that you survived. But
Bragging.
we assumed that having a portion of the Sigillum Scriba probably saved your lives.
Then what's
Soju?
I don't think I. What is the?
The Sigillum Scriba, it is this rod which she possesses.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Hash slinger hash.
It is the key to sealing the material plane.
So, like, are we in the past, the future, or are neither of those things a tangible element at this point? I'm hanging on by a thread.
It is an interesting question. From your
Your dick's
perspective,
out.
perhaps you are in the future,
Yes.
but in a greater perspective, you are in fact in the past because we are at the beginning of a new multiverse.
So, all of the mistakes I've made over the past 2 years might be, I don't know, corrected if we do the right things.
Those things shall surely be consumed by the chaos of the primordium.
Yes.
It is the future that you.
Jorvanzal nods his head, but
Yeah,
has
it's like
zero comprehension.
I think we're all doing that.
Yeah.
Think of it this way:
Ah.
the center of the universe is a flame, and the material planes are the glass around the flame, as if it were a lantern, and the will of the gods are shadows that are cast by the glass. You need the glass in order to focus the shadows,
Oh,
but the
glass
glass
is
has
not-
now been shattered, and that means there are no shadows.
so
The gods are dead.
oh,
But like, how are you here? Like,
Damn.
why? Okay, so everything else was destroyed. Like our world was destroyed.
Largely consumed. There are pieces of the original universe which have fallen into the primordium and can resist its influence.
Can they be restored though?
Yes, well, with the Sigillum Scriba, they could be restored, yes.
So we're supposed to use that thing to do what?
Reform and reseal the universe.
Oh, that's easy.
The chaos can be shaped, can be melded, can be molded, can be manifested through effort of will, exertion, of discipline and focus. I'm not
Jorvanzal,
certain that
controller of chaos.
your group possesses the facility
It's my rod.
to do this.
Why? It's a group effort.
It's mine.
Oh,
You gave yours away.
that's true. I did. But I got this kick-ass ring.
Think of it this way: the primordium where we currently reside is the furnace, is the raw divine energy of the gods. It is through the beliefs of their followers that
You
energy.
say it's Godfire? Is that what you would say? It's Godfire?
That is one way to describe.
Play high fantasy. Don't put me back on a spaceship.
Friends, for $501, we won't go back on a spaceship.
Oh my god.
Can they put dinosaurs on the spaceship? Like a Tarrasque on a spaceship?
so
Can we fly in a drone?
we've got a bit of wood that's magic, and you want us to fix all worlds with it? Cool. Do we just point it and say a magic word, or what's the?
Yeah, is there like a
Steps?
manual or something?
You only have one piece of the scribulum. What did I say?
It's the
Sigillum
Sigillum Scriba.
Sigillum
The
Scriba.
scribblum
You only have you only have one portion of it. It is not complete. Am I correct? It is surely what protected you.
Oh my gosh, are you talking about the piece that she has is what opened it? Like that's the Sigillum Scriba?
Yes.
It's part of it. So, like,
So it's the rock.
say
Yes.
Hypothetically.
the Sigillum Scriba is a large rod.
Why didn't
hypothetically.
you just say large rod?
Because you probably would have said something lascivious.
We would have.
Stinking
That's-
thinking.
I definitely would have.
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, I'm still waiting.
Alton, what were your thoughts?
Sorry, I was thinking of things listed. So, say hypothetically, if we saw the rod, but it was shattered into a bunch of pieces, and then everything was destroyed. Like what? How?
Yes, the rod was deliberately broken.
Oh, cool. Where?
Once the world was formed and sealed with the rod was broken so that the world could not be unsealed.
Okay.
Wait, so is that...
So,
Do you know who,
Goku is?
Visha? Or sorry, what is it?
He's very
Visha?
good.
Vitha.
Vitha. Do you know who the name Vitha? Does that ring any bells?
No, I am not familiar with this creature.
She had
sure
a
she's
good
dead.
chunk of the scribblum giblums that she had put together.
Did those come through here, or does she still have them?
Is that bitch dead?
I'm pretty sure she's dead. I mean, I'm not 100%, but she looked real dead.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. She looked dead before we saw her, and then, you know.
But how do we get her pieces of the sigillum scriba bud?
I like my word.
Or
better.
or in layman's terms, like a rod.
Yeah, like, is it just lying around somewhere around here? Are you...
It's like the Dragon Balls. We have to go find them.
I'm not a lion. I'm a tiger.
Oh my.
Listen here. Goddamn saber-tooth. Not a tiger.
I am an awakened saber-toothed tiger.
Okay, well. So we gotta put the world back together
works
by
really
getting
well.
the parts of the scribblum giblums, and we have to go. First question: When are we having breakfast?
And they hand you another pot of...
Oh,
Plant milk.
So we find all the
Grata.
pieces, put it together, summon the great dragon, Shulan or whatever, and
we make
grant
some
one.
wishes.
Yeah, and
Only
wish
3?
for underwear.
Yeah. Except the next 8 episodes is gonna be us running along like the dragon.
Oh, no, we're just powering up.
Yeah.
And then we stop to eat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, hi
Then our
dude.
wife makes us get a job because fighting aliens isn't.
Safe. It's
Yeah.
not safe.
No, it's not safe. Nor financially reputable.
To
Children.
be clear, there are various creatures from the multiverse who can harness and manipulate the primordium here. They will seek to manifest their version of the universe, which they consider ideal. If they can do that and stabilize that, they ascend to godhood.
So it's a scribblum giblums race. A race to the scribblum giblums.
But it is the sigillum scriba which, of course, seals that universe into a fixed state. Otherwise, it continues to crack and shatter and descend into chaos. Much like, invariably, a hood gets pulled over one's eyes and you descend into giggling madness because you're faced with the unfortunate truth that somehow, some way, you're going to find your way back onto a fucking spaceship.
What's a spaceship and why does everyone hate it so much?
Sounds like an adventure.
Isn't like that time when we were in a boat and we did the wind thing and we were like up in the air?
Like, you don't want to reference his airship? You want to reference...
I forgot about that. He kept turning me down.
You've never shut up about it. You've never once shut up about his airship.
I was cock-blocked 4 hours last week. Every time I brought it up, oh no, that's mine. You shut your dirty mouth.
Wait, are you saying the Phoenix doesn't exist anymore?
I can't guarantee that it does or guarantee that it does not. I can tell you that the proximity to the piece of the rod which you held may have protected other elements in your location, much as it enabled your survival.
So you're saying she's probably not dead.
So
Wait, am I a god?
yes, if the gods are dead, does that mean that I don't have to worry about my beliefs anymore?
That's the
You
only
do not-
reason you believed in them?
Well, I
That and fear of retribution. It's the only reason.
Obviously. Well, if my belief is what fueled the god, but now the gods are dead, then what's the point of believing?
Think of it this way: it is a balance between chaos and order. A god derives their power from the believers who believe certain things about that god, which reinforces their portfolio, which gives them definition and shape, and they can then draw the power of the primordium through their believers into themselves.
Well, I
If
still
we
firmly
believe-
believe in nature, so I guess that's fine then. We're all good.
If we believe hard enough, we can create anything.
Yes, but until it's sealed. What are you trying to
Is there a
create?
bathroom? I think my friend needs the bathroom.
I think she's trying to like lay her own egg.
My pee and poop are the same.
Why?
Strum, what have we said?
That's it.
It's piss and shit.
Oh, sorry.
You're a big girl now. Use big girl words.
The Ironkeep Chronicles, the only show on the internet where we begin talking about cosmology of the planes and the power of divine energy, and end up talking about pee and poop.
It's who I am. It's my cloaca.
It's
We can all see
called
that, you know.
progress.
I came down. Can't see out my cloaca.
Iron keeps for the common man, you know.
That's right. The show for the common man. Speaking of the common man, Fire Red Lily sends a reroll to Havana Mahoney.
Thank you so much.
Some other things have been unlocked by chat. So there's more chaos. You each receive 2 more chaos dice.
Dun, 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 dun.
Enjoy that.
I also have 5 rerolls from last time, I think.
Yeah, that's your reward, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
5 rerolls.
Is that correct?
That's what I wrote down. I'm not happy about
Oh,
it,
you
but I
got a
wrote
little
it down.
dribble coming.
You thought you weren't gonna remind me?
No, I
He's
wasn't.
gonna help you.
I have 1 left over from last time. Thank you very much.
Liar.
I feel like every time they say reroll in Havana.
Also-
That what? Oh, that
all
song.
of the rerolls to Havana. Sorry.
Hero's Favor has been
Child
unlocked.
in like
So
that home.
if you would like to deploy your Hero's Favor,
I want an indicator.
I want an indicator. I want one, Daddy.
I want it now.
Gooses.
All right.
I want a golden goose and I want it now.
There's your Hero's
Yeah.
Favor.
I love it.
My
Hero's
gooses.
Favor.
Thanks, campaign coins.
Hero's Favor.
Ooh, the nice big shiny ones. I'm
That's
still
right.
waiting for them.
They haven't shipped yet.
I know. That's part of waiting.
That is part of waiting.
The worst part, I'd say.
I know.
All right.
Hero's Favor is that. Is this?
Oh no, I was trying to figure out what the coin represented.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, represents Hero's Favor.
No. Wow, hello.
Nice, welcome. So, yes, here in the Primordium, the danger of this place is that anyone can try to tap into the power of the Primordium and become a god, but often the power of the Chaos Plane is something that cannot be tamed. May not remain stable or may overwhelm whoever tries to use it.
But technically, we are we can construct a new and glorious future for ourselves, can we not? If
That is the
we
promise
succeed?
before us, yes.
So there is a possibility of me usurping Top Boy.
No,
Oh, okay. I didn't read this. Is that not
only
in the
through
cards?
combat.
Oh,
ready?
Never mind.
You wanna go?
I'm not gonna fight you.
You want to go? He
You
stands
guys
up.
are both
He stands up.
naked!
Yeah, he stands
Only love for Alton. Everyone loves Alton.
Didn't make that face at the man long. Except that it's Alton, which makes me go.
So is there like a map to all these pieces, or like?
Yeah, or just general directions.
Oh, well, the rod itself should guide you to the next piece.
Well, that's convenient.
when you collect...
Mine always does. There it is.
Oh,
I'm so sick of you.
There's so much happening.
When you collect one piece of the rod, it always leads to the next longest piece. Unless, of course, you have the final piece of the rod, in which case it always leads to the next shortest piece.
Sorry.
Again, I'm confused. I'm back. At...
One stick points it to where the other stick are.
Ah, okay.
You keep going until you got all the stick.
Well, how do we know? Does it make a noise, or does it light up, or does it vibrate, or something? All 3?
You
hope it's
should be able to...
Stop!
That was there was nothing sexual about that. Well, I wasn't.
You've been nothing but sexual since you got out of that silky pod.
What is in that weird
Drinking
milk
that plant
you
juice.
drink?
The sex milk.
Trying turned him into a silver-tongued puppy.
He's only sitting this far up out of the nest, but you can tell that both of his nipples are erect.
I pointed that out immediately.
The keen eyes on Strum Thrum.
I do have
Don't
very
fan
high
art that, we'll get-
perception of skill.
We'll get banned by Twitch. And no nipples on
Just covered
Twitch.
in tape.
As long as they're not female-facing.
You should be able to concentrate on the rod, and it will lead you to the next section.
Concentrate?
I know it's a novel concept. And it so curiously it does, like, you know, kind of like spin a little bit, you know, spin in your hand a little bit, almost like a dowsing rod, right?
Oh, sure.
And then it draws your hand and it points in a particular, you don't have any frame of reference inside this kind of like cylindrical room, right? But it points to the left, and then but it points down
Okay.
at kind of like a steep angle. It kind of points like this.
Well, how big is this world we're in? Does it go on and on, or is
Yeah,
it
the
small?
arc
'Cause it's
reliquary.
I just meant the universe we're in, but
Perhaps it would be easier to show you. And they begin climbing the scaffolding where you had previously roosted. Right?
Oh.
okay.
You flew down to get the
Mhm.
griffin egg out, and they begin climbing up. You ascend the scaffolding and come up onto the battlements of a round tower. But the walls of the crenellations of the tower, the outer walls, are all made of iron. And as you look around, you can see that you are actually standing atop one of the towers from the outer bailey of the Ironkeep. The outer bailey buildings appear to be intact. They're heavily rusted. Above you, you can see like a swirling, stormy sky rushing over you. The storm clouds are very violent, and you can actually see like waves of water pass above you, almost like a river flowing in the sky, but just these cascading waves of thick water and vapor, you know, kind of streams of it shooting by. And as you look down, you can see that the outer bailey of the Ironkeep has been grafted onto a series of makeshift hovels and huts and buildings that are strapped together with wood, that are potentially covered with leather skins and strange pieces of cloth and whatnot, and they're incredibly dense, right? So there's this almost kind of multi-story. You're at the top of like this multi-story cascading makeshift, just bolt on another piece of treehouse onto this thing, this maze-like labyrinth of huts and hovels that are stitched together. To one side, you see a gleaming spire of brass, this obelisk shape that springs up. You can also see what looks like a stone square, rectangular kind of mall type of area that's been carved out, you know, further away from you, and the rod is pointing down beyond that, and off to one side you can see that there's a great wooden wheel, like a water wheel from a mill or something like that. But this thing is probably 150 feet in diameter, that is spinning and churning, and it's hard to make out. But once you start to really take in the shape of everything, because it's all covered with all these like I said, these different makeshift kind of like huts and whatnot and shelters. Once you take into the shape, you can see that through the form there's a pair of kind of like stubbed wings that are maybe curled or something like that. And as you look at the edges, you can see that this entire edifice is built atop the back of what appears to be a dead or inert platinum dragon of colossal size. The dragon floats on a turbulent sea of water. And so it's been essentially formed into a makeshift barge or ark. And you realize that the streams of water that have been flying over you are actually like waves and whatnot that have been crashing against the back of this corpse. And that's the spray flying overhead. It's so forceful that it actually just throws it, the length, a mile or so across the top of you with ease.
So, is it like actual water, or is it just is it reminiscent of water, or like
So you kind of have to the wind up here is whistling, and you have to talk over this a little bit, but Tessarian explains, this is the Maelstrom. We are on the conjunction between water and air. The water gives us sustenance and enables us to grow what meager things we can. The air enables us to survive. It is one of the few naturally hospitable places here in the Primordium.
All right, so not from Jorvanzal, but just as a player, like we're like in between like the elemental plane of water and air, or that's not even in existence.
So that's not even in existence, right? So essentially, what it is it's sort of like that. Like it's as if the Scrimmer, this is Sigillum Scrimmerva. It's like those pieces of the plane got sucked into this plane of chaos, and they're constantly like fighting, right? Okay. So they have managed to find a big enough pocket of this stuff that, a Tessarian would explain to you that the Maelstrom is actually all four elements trying to like assert dominance over each other.
Okay. And
in the center of that area, there's known to be some sort of dead magic zone.
Okay.
But to reach it, you would have to travel through one of the, essentially a demi-plane of element that would be shaped by chaos. So.
I want to investigate that dragon.
Everybody can give me a knowledge religion check or an arcana check, please.
12. I'm like, it's a dragon.
12. I'm going to use one of my rerolls. Thank you, Chase.
Reroll.
Damn, that's a tower.
It's a tower. 17.
Okay.
10.
10.
I know.
It's a dragon.
It's not just any dragon.
If he's dead, he belongs to the Night King now.
Those of you who got a 12 have an inkling of this, but you can confirm it for sure. There's only one platinum dragon, and that is Bahamut, the god of dragons.
Okay.
Or specifically the god of good dragons.
But he's dead.
Yes.
All the gods are dead.
Yes.
So does Tiamat right now?
Tiamat is a demon. I don't know that Tiamat is actually a god.
Well, she's the other
no
half
one knows
of.
what's up now.
She's the other half of Bahamut, technically.
Technically, yeah.
So being a she's automatically stronger and much more powerful to begin with.
She definitely kicks his ass a lot.
If you're suggesting that Tiamat is still alive, I'm gonna go with that. I'm happy to entertain that. Hey, chat. Next week.
$502.
She was one of the first stats.
Tiamat shows up. We'll see where that goes.
Oh my gosh. Please make this happen for me.
Speaking of making things happen, RSV Rarivos sends their reroll to me. Thank you very
How
much.
dare you?
Yes. And Scrimmerva sends their reroll to Christina. Very good.
Thank you.
It's yours. Yeah, so you look out over this thing and you can tell that they're at some place there somebody has taken like a galleon and it's been sort of just beached on this thing and stripped down, like most of it has been stripped down to like fortify it onto the back of the corpse of this god, and so it's no longer traveling or whatnot, but it provides a shelter and whatnot. There's all kinds of there's no one particular type of architecture that really defines this thing. It's literally just whatever they can kit bash together to make a makeshift shelter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, you see this brass obelisk. You see the great wheel. That's what it looks like. What this thing is doing is actually like the wheel on a steamboat. Is it's churning through the water. It's actually like propelling you along the waves and keeping you from getting completely swamped by the various forces of the Ella Maelstrom as it throws its mighty gales upon you.
It makes me sad. For the dead dragon part. It's like sad. He's just like, oh, he's dead, so let's like turn him into a house for people to like be on. It's like a lot.
It is sad, but consider yourself fortunate. Not many mortals get to see the rebirth of a universe.
Like, you kind of like weird me out a little bit because you're like, oh, like I've got all these answers to like everything. But like, how do you know all this stuff? And you can't say it's because you're like a god because you said all the gods are dead. So like, what or like, who are you? Like, for real.
We belong to the Order of the Emerald Shard. We are essentially watchkeepers of the natural order of the universe in whatever way that manifests itself.
Wait, how did you find us?
You look down and they point and they say, "You fell into our courtyard." And you can see this giant scorched crater in the midst of the bailey of the Ironkeep, where very clearly there's this central impact with 3 other impact marks around it.
Oh wait, where's the
That
guy who
tracks.
got us here?
Oh yeah, yeah, like a dragonborn.
Yeah, Xerix. Did he make
Dragonborn
it?
person.
No.
We did not find a dragonborn.
Oh shit!
Well, he's dead.
Oh, he was like my friend though.
He
Like,
just,
we were
got
really
us
close.
here. He's got us out of there.
He like let me touch his rod.
It's a special moment.
It was. It was important to me. Let me put him on. Stop.
Keep it together. Keep it together.
That went where I was not anticipating. I was really talking about the rod of 7 parts, not the rod
Oh
of
my
1
God.
and 2.
All right. So, do you have other questions for your strange hosts, or what would you like to do?
What's in it for you to take care of us?
Well,
We have observed the creation and destruction of several universes, but there is something unique about this particular instance. The forces of the primordium are particularly potent, and we have a concern that unless the Sigillum Scriba is reassembled, there will never be another stable universe. There will be momentary flickers of projections of the material plane, but they will never be truly stable. They will be constantly falling back here into pandemonium.
So couldn't we just like stay here and recreate the world from within here, which seems pretty stable?
no, we need the rest of the rod.
You could create whatever world you want, but it would not become permanent without the power of the Scribillum Scriba.
I guess we're gonna.
In
have
fact,
to-
there are other creatures currently prowling about the primordium, which attempt to do this very thing you suggest, attempt to create their own manifestation of the natural order of the universe, or create their own private demiplanes and such.
How long have they been here?
That is a difficult question in this place, in that this place does not have a single continuous unit of time. Some parts of the primordium have very quick accelerated rates of time passage. In other places, time virtually stands still. I cannot give you an answer to that because, like the wind, time varies here.
You could just say you don't know.
I could tell you if you were to ask about a specific creature, but I can't give an answer that would satisfy you. That
So
doesn't
you
mean
could
I
just
don't
say
know.
You don't know.
Wait, so Tess. Can I call you Tess? Wait, is it Tessarian? Right? We're still speaking Tessarian?
Yes.
Okay. You found us. You nursed us back to health. I'm very grateful. The plant juice, top notch. How are we supposed to get out? Like, if we're supposed to be going to look for the other parts of this scribblum giblums, where are we going? How do we get there?
I believe the rod shall guide you.
Well, yeah, but we can't just like walk out into this like turbulent, like elemental chaotic mess, right? Do we have anything to travel on? We got some some brooms.
Yeah, maybe like a magic carpet.
Yeah, oh, I'm with her on that one. Yes, magic carpets.
Or like another dragon that's not dead.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
non-dead.
Like a griffin that's not our baby.
Dead or not, just a dragon that can fly. I think like life or death is really not a factor at that point.
You fly around on a dead dragon.
I'm flying around on a dead dragon. We gotta do it. Like
How
no,
is it gonna fly?
we don't have any live dragons. We don't have a Draco Lich. I'm like, well, as long as it's giving us a ride, I don't care. I mean, put a little sidecar on it. I don't,
Can I just point out, my dear friend, that none of that was discernible?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, I have been popping mushrooms this entire time.
That's how you want to ride a dead dragon?
Well, yeah. I'm just saying. I am trying to be open about our means of transportation, but I'm just saying I'm not picky, but we have to be able. I just don't like. I point down to like the chaotic lapping of these weird elemental waves, and I'm just like, well, we obviously aren't going to be swimming in that, so as a saber-toothed tiger, are you very fond of water? Like, is that?
Oh no, I don't like it. I like if I need to get clean, I just handle it myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm just trying to find a way for us to a means of conveyance. A way for us to travel. That's all.
Still doesn't make sense. Anyway.
Okay. All right.
Magic carpet.
Dead dragon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we cannot provide any help in this matter. We project our consciousness.
Wait, you're not even here?
We are always here.
Why can't you just answer a question? It's all metaphysical. We are always here.
I believe the answer is we cannot help you in this matter. I'm sorry if I explained too much.
Wait, does my hand touch them? Are they here?
They're here.
What do you mean you're not here?
We're always here.
And also not here.
If we feel the need to travel, we, through discipline and will, project our consciousness to the destination which we...
But is this your consciousness? Or is this you?
Or both.
I'm touching their face. I don't know how
so
tall
they have this piece of canvas,
Oh, okay.
over their face, and you just see sort of two kind of unblinking eyes through the canvas.
That's so scary.
And they Tessarion sort of backs up a little bit as you reach out to touch its face. I'm not sure you're prepared for what you may encounter.
Is your face made of worms?
I would.
Are you an Oogie Boogie? Because you have to tell us if
You
you're.
gotta tell us if you're Oogie Boogie. That's the law.
Our biology is not conventional.
I just want to know if you're here right now or if you're a projection.
I think the short answer is he doesn't know, just like he doesn't know most things.
Is that true? I thought you were supposed to know everything.
I assure you, we are here. This is the greatest collection of survivors of the cataclysm.
Allegedly.
Are there other survivors here that have made like means of transport and whatnot of this dead dragon?
Although the reliquary may seem to be a ragtag set of hovels, I can assure you it is a thriving city filled with entrepreneurs and scavengers and all sorts of people seeking to
Let's go get us a boat.
forge their fortune in the new universe.
I have a quick question. So everyone here is thriving and like doing well, right?
Compared to most of the rest of the multiverse, yes.
So like, is your world gonna fall apart without the rod, or is it just like everyone else dies and we're cool because we're like, are you like the 1% of this area?
Whoa.
Are they like the Watchers?
I said they are. Watchers.
It's a nerd.
The people here in the reliquary may,
Marvel.
perhaps thriving is a bit of a strong term. They are surviving here in this world for now, but given the vagaries of time, space, the
Okay,
elements,
I know.
it is likely that perhaps no one will survive the wild, unruly forces of chaos.
Do you know a great place for us to like start?
Yeah, I'd like a bowl of soup and like then talk to someone with a
Wait
ship.
a minute. So this rod basically created the world.
It's a
And
very
he's-
male-centric view.
They said that having a piece of it allowed you some limited creation. Now it's not permanent, so we can't recreate the world. But if we get into a situation where we need a boat,
We can make a boat with
we
our
can
minds.
make a boat.
With our rod minds.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Strum can whip out that rod and make a boat.
Yeah, I can. I mean, fuck yeah, I can.
Yeah, that's
That's
Is
the
this like-
spirit.
Is that like a real thing that we could like do?
I don't know. Let's give it a try.
Let's try right now inside the small building. The small cylinder.
I wish for a boat.
We survive the
cylindrical boat.
exploding of the multiverse and then get crushed by a boat we made with our minds.
We
That
manifest.
sounds par for the course, really.
adventurer. You are the only one. I'm not dead.
You're the only one who. Your only hope.
Each portion of the rod is said to confer a different level of power upon the wielder. One portion, which you control, has to deal with time.
Ooh. So we can
You have
turn
the
back
shortest
time.
portion, yes?
I mean, I think it's pretty long.
No, it's
Who's comparing?
it's you know, it's not how big it is. It's what you do with it.
I have the only one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the
So
only
it's the biggest one around.
biggest one I've ever seen.
You're welcome.
So if I were like to collect all of the pieces of the rod, including discreetly getting the one away from Strum,
I can hear you. Also, we're like on the same team.
I know we are, but like I'm just saying, if I collected all of the pieces of the rod, could I ultimately become the leader of the free world?
Oh my god.
I mean, I think
It would be your place to fix whatever universe is currently in flux in a stable and in a stable fashion.
So
In
total
other words-
unlimited power.
In other words, whatever universe has presented itself before you, you can decide whether it continues as you have known the universe before, or whether it will fall into chaos and be consumed.
That sounds awful.
So, but
Why are you smiling then?
What?
You said it sounds awful, but then you smiled.
I mean, I was just thinking about all the like things that could possibly happen, and like we're gonna save the day, so it was like save the day smile duh.
Oh, okay.
I think she's a psychopath.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
I put my hand here.
You remember
I don't
when you
even- I
said
don't
that
even
you
have
can hear me?
lips.
Because I can totally hear you, and I also know where you sleep.
I'm gonna be sleeping inside you.
Well, we do already share a child, so
Hey, that tracks. That tracks.
We're going to
That
hill.
tracks. That tracks. Okay, so do we go look for a guy with a ship, or do we use the scribbling gibbling to make a ship?
Well, we should find out if we need one first, because if the first piece is just in some dude's house, then we wasted all that time getting a boat.
Oh yeah, no, maybe it is. Does Jim have the other piece?
We don't kill him. We ask him to give him the rod, and if he won't, then we
asked
take
to
it.
give him the rod. Would you like this?
Excuse me, sir. Would you like the rod?
Too bad.
You know what I like?
Oh man, can I guess?
Oh my god, yes.
Structure.
Do you like a structure?
Yes, I crave structure. Ever since I lost my master, I've been on a downward spiral of not knowing what's going on in the world.
You should try this new way of getting your life together called Marie Kondo's method.
She survived, right?
Marie Kondo, she survived because she had constructed her life into a way that was so in order there was no chaos able to be put upon it.
No.
She straight constructs her own tidy ass universe.
Yeah, she's
And
in a
threw away
Jamie
all the
plane.
dungeon master guides.
Boy, I feel like she would be one. I don't know how resistant to chaos she actually is.
Chaotic.
She's seen some shit. If you watch that show, she goes into people's homes who are like hoarders, and she's like, "Oh, this is great." She literally at one point she's just like, "Oh, it's so messy. I'm so happy. I love mess." Like she just straight says that. Like I'm like, "You're a little angel woman. I don't understand." Because I would go in there and I would cry and I would leave. I can't help you.
That's why you at my house too.
I can't help you.
Would you like something to drink? Not from this house.
The show got canceled. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, can we go into town? Other
Let's
street.
follow
Who are you asking?
Well, I'm
Dungeon
generally
master.
asking as a player to the dungeon master. Is there like a town for us to like go into?
Yeah,
There's like a
the shanty town
No, so
at the base of the Ironkeep.
Dom, I want, can you give me a battle map kind of thing so I can draw some stuff?
draw some map.
Battle maps.
But we should follow where the rod leads us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it happens to lead us to something cool.
Right. Well, yeah, not all of
Happens
us
to lead
indulged
us
in the
to
plant milk, so I
Yeah.
don't know where we stand as far as like.
I'm
sustenance.
full. I've had like 3 plant milks.
You need to slow down.
I mean-
You're naked. Are you like hairy? I imagine he's like. I imagine he's like tiny little hairy.
But also, like,
It's like a little Austin Powers.
honest question, because we were in these
milk
weird,
in it.
we were in these cocoons. Is Jorvin clean? Did Jorvin wake up clean?
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh,
Probably.
Maybe the cocoon clean
Is
with
this
self
dry erase?
I gotta look for some
I
dirt.
think it's wet
Or
erase.
is it wet erase? Let's find out.
That is a big ass map.
Condensation.
There we go.
Oh.
I was like, wait, what's the?
Whoa.
I think
Eyeballs,
like at this point we're
eyeballs,
just being
John.
punished.
Yeah.
We're being punished. Bad cast.
Get off the table.
Ooh, this is the
There we go.
life changing makeup of tidying down. What's it called?
Does this battle map bring you joy?
Does this spark joy?
It does.
It doesn't.
It does.
It
There's
doesn't.
nothing better than a blank gridded piece of paper.
What about one that has stuff on it?
Well, that's just disappointment in the end, honestly. It's never as good as what you thought of.
All right.
That's heartbreaking.
Oh,
We
can
just
you-
got real
Is there a
for a
Diet
second.
Coke in there? I would take one if you have one. What's the best way to do this? Look at that. Thank you.
Oh, damn. That's some service.
That's some service.
It's
So,
gonna require your firstborn and your entire income and credit.
No, my credit's all right.
No, like credit, like for Alton.
Oh,
When over meta.
Whoa. Okay, that's a dead dragon.
yeah. So that's the outline, right? And And the neck curls down, like it looks like most of the head and whatnot. One of the reasons you didn't really recognize what this thing was is the wings are folded underneath it, so that they just form these very sharp, kind of concave, foreshortened kind of structures. And the neck curves down underneath, whatever rigor mortis or whatever is curled down underneath. So maybe it's underneath, curled into the belly or something like that. But most of it is under the waves. And likewise, the tail looks like it may have been kind of like artificially kind of stretched out so that it forms kind of a makeshift rudder. And in the nook of this wing right here is that giant wheel that I described before.
Is it one of those ones that has like the water pouring over it, like as it laps around, it's like the water like cascades to each individual little wheel?
Well, I mean, it's more like a paddle wheel, right? So instead of a mill wheel that you're describing, like there would be a dam, and then water would flow over the top, and that turns the wheel, right?
Like the riverboat wheels.
Yeah, but this is like a riverboat wheel where it's above the water, and it something deep. It looks like there's some sort of structure just off of on the main body here, kind of a house or factory or something like that, which provides the power to this thing. And maybe the cam for the entire thing is embedded within literally the bowels of the dragon somewhere, right? So that's one thing that about the geography that you can discern, but you're sort of at the topmost portion of this thing. The way that the city atop this thing is laid out is that.
Hey,
thanks for the sub.
Can I just say this, and this is a very high compliment, that your dragon looks like a magical Leopleurodon.
Thank you.
Makes me happy.
And you can see.
Magical Leopleurodon, Charlie.
So there are a few sort of like outrider structures out here that are kind of like smaller and more rickety. And then there's a bunch of buildings that sort of go along the spine and out onto the tail and whatnot.
Okay.
Although, like I said, you can see that there's sort of like a massive, looks like wooden kind of like shaft that's been driven through the tail to form a rudder on this thing.
Okay.
If you were to look at this from a side view, which way is the best way to draw this thing from the side? Just sort of basically like this, right? So there would be this wheel here. Like I said, that goes up, like 75 feet up into the air above you. And the head. So the bulk of the creature is probably underneath the water. Similar thing going on back here with the tail. There's this large wedge of wood that forms this rudder back here. And then you're up kind of like at the tippy top of this thing, right? So you're up here, and then there's all this structure that kind of builds its way down, gets thicker and broader down here, right? Until it goes out to the tail. So you're up at the top, you look down into the city below, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. So, is everyone in agreement of like going into the city? Like,
Yeah, that's where the rod was indicating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, so if you were standing, it was actually pointing down in this direction. Why don't you give me, this is sort of like falls under the domain of wilderness survival.
I mean, or perception.
I'll take it.
It's more of a wilderness survival thing than a perception thing. Like perception, doesn't really apply that broadly. By the way, D20 Monkey sends a reroll to me. Thank you, Brian. Wow. And Zagrave sends their reroll to Kyle Caps.
Hey! Thank
There you
you.
go.
I got one.
Razmatasma.
We'll see if I have to immediately use it.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Hoisted by your own petard.
Yes. I'm real petarded. My gosh. 6 and 6 is
17.
12.
yeah, 12. Yeah, that's not terrible. Like
17.
yeah, my petard got me real good.
Well, I mean, for you,
I did okay.
the hard part for you is, number one, you're trying to just basically sort of observe secondhand, like where the rod is pointing, right? Like she's got it out, and she can tell like it gives it like a pull here and there and whatnot, and you're sort of trying to like interpret what that means, and it's different for you because you actually have a grip on it, right? The other thing that makes it a little complicated for you is like you're at the highest point of the city and it's pointing into the city, right? So it doesn't give you. And you're also at an end of the city, so it's kind of like, yes, it's in the city.
Good,
is what
yeah.
it looks like.
It's down there. Right?
There's no way to go
Yeah,
behind
that's
us.
what
So
I
it's down in front of
Should have just
but
listened to Strum from the beginning.
with a 17, you can tell that it seems to almost be pointing directly at behind this. I mentioned there's this big stone square area, right? In the that's been blocked off. Everything else is like really crammed in, tight, cramped hovels and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there's this stone square, and then there's that brass obelisk, right? That comes up.
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah. Well, and
That I mentioned
that
before.
obelisk is right next to the wheel, right?
It's next to it's next to the square,
Oh, okay.
right? And it looks like it's pointed at that. At that brass obelisk.
Okay. Well, do we want to make our way to the obelisk? That seems like the most interesting area.
It's also where the rod's pointing.
Oh, well, then that too.
Yeah.
Like, we're following you on this one.
Oh, but yeah, that's where it's pointing. So
So we
All
make our way through the streets.
Sure. Put on pants then.
All right, so you equip yourselves with.
yeah, you guys are still naked.
Yeah, I climbed up there. I've been standing there, like,
Yeah.
smoking. I'm like, huh,
Naked and smoking.
that's where it's pointing.
Yeah.
The good news is it is cold.
Is it?
I put
I'm a
on
shrinker,
my
not a
yeah. I put on my badger furs.
So not a growing one. I'm gonna cry.
All right. So yeah, you get yourselves re-equipped and
Rower.
kind of.
Yes.
If it really is true that we get to remake the world or the reality, does that mean that we have a chance of possibly salvaging Barden?
I don't know.
Do you think that's within the cards?
I'm gonna not think about it right now because I don't want to get myself like excited, and then I get excited and it doesn't happen. And
No, yes, we should not get excited.
but it's a great
I'm
thing
just
to think about.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Lottie-dottie.
Let's carry on.
All right. So you begin picking your way down through the collection of makeshift shelters and whatnot. It is somewhat difficult because it's hard to find. Like there are definitely pathways and little shifting corridors, and you climb down a ladder and come around a corner and then down a couple steps and whatnot, and then you have to climb down the side of somebody's building. And so there are several different moments where you inadvertently like find yourselves in what's essentially like somebody's little patio or terrace, or you're staring through the window at them as they're cooking and whatnot. And the one
We're
thing,
Ferris Buellering it.
yeah, sort of. But you have to climb your way down. The one thing
this
that
is like Mamma Mia.
It is.
Here we go again.
Just like Mama.
The one thing that strikes you is that as you go through this area, there is no predominant race or species, and in fact you see several creatures that you just basically don't recognize, right? You come across a creature that seems to be like setting stones in a little circle and rearranging them, and you don't know if it's doing a ritual or playing a game, but the thing has an extremely long neck and it's blue and it has this kind of bulbous head with just two dark, unblinking eyes, and it has 4 arms, and it has 4 legs that come that come off the base of its torso, but it's sitting cross-legged, like double cross-legged, back to back, manipulating these stones, and you just accidentally kind of like brush against the curtain or actually a breeze blows the curtain open, and it turns and just gives you this like. You don't know how to interpret because it's not a glare, but you just don't quite understand like what it meets your gaze, and it has no other facial features, so it can't give you an expression, but it just sort of looks at you and then it turns back to its stones and it
Top of
begins
the morning.
moving them around again, right?
Doing like the cups
Why,
and balls
hello.
trick, like he's just like.
No, he's singing that Anna Kendrick song.
I'm a digger, down.
And you do see creatures that you do find familiar, right? There are dwarves and gnomes, and see lizard folk and orcs and humanoids that you would consider part of the the natural material plane from your homelands. But you also see very alien creatures that you can only imagine would exist on other planes or in the depths of the Underdark, etc. But you manage to kind of like pick your way through. Once you get down onto essentially sort of like ground level or deck level or whatever you want to call it, it becomes much easier because the streets are a little bit wider, but definitely more traveled, right? So rather than kind of coming down from the top, where you're sort of atop this like lonely peak of lattice work and whatnot. As you come down to the bottom, you can see that you experience that there's a lot more people around you, and so rather than having to find the path down along the way through the buildings, you can just sort of like join traffic and go, well, these people seem to be walking in a direction. Let's keep following them as long as they keep going the way that we want to keep going, right? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It is still
Stalking.
incredibly disorienting because you're almost in, like a 4 or 5 story canyon of these makeshift buildings, and you can tell now that you're down there, like somebody has made an entire house that's just basically like barrels that they have broken apart and then kind of like somehow laced together or woven together into ropes and whatnot to form the walls and such. So it is a variety of materials that have been scavenged and then reincorporated into the architecture of this city, right? Do you want to go through this big stone square area that you saw from above, or do you want to try and go around it and just go directly to the obelisk?
Can we tell what's going on in this square from where we're at?
Everybody give me a perception check.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oops.
10.
15.
19.
6.
Wow. There are things you are very good at, and then there's everything else.
Yeah, I'm good at a couple of things, but I'm so friggin' good at them.
All right. Very good. So what was our high score here?
Alton.
You get what?
I got 15.
15?
19.
19?
Yeah, it was only a 10, so.
So you can tell from the noises of the crowds and
They're going, ooh.
the various shouting and calls and whatnot, that it seems like this is some sort of market square up ahead. But it's definitely one of those like temporary kind of like set up tents and take them down every night kind of things, right? So that's one thing that you can tell is going on.
Mhm.
The thing that you pick out, even though the wind is whistling above you and there's literally like waves crashing far overhead and splashing down ahead of you, is you get down here and you're like, oh, somebody is cooking meat.
Yeah.
There is no question that somebody is cooking meat up here.
This seems like what's commonly referred to as a setup.
So, you've reached the edge of the market square here. There are, like I said, there's large stone walls that kind of like keep everyone else from building in here. And as you reach the edge of it, there are narrow passageways on either side. So if you chose to like circumvent, kind of go around the edge, you could do that. Or you can travel through the square. It's up to you. It sounds like there's also some sort of chanting coming from the far end of the market square.
Strum, I think we should use a medieval form of figuring out what we should do.
A plan?
Actually, it's called Rochambeau. I think that's what we should use to make our decision.
What is Rochambeau?
It's like Rochambeau. So you go like this, and then you're like, when on three.
Yeah, we did that. It's you do this, and then you punch someone in the face and take their stuff.
Not quite. You go like rock, and then paper, and then scissors, and then shoot, and then like paper beats a rock, and a scissor beats a paper.
But your paw always looks like a rock.
But I'll tell you what it was. You can trust me. I'll be like, oh, like, I'll go first. Like,
You've literally threatened to kill me in my sleep.
you, like, threaten to kill Alton, like, all the time.
No, I don't think that has ever happened. She threatens to kill Eric. Havana Mahoney.
What are you talking about?
Got you there.
Okay, well, maybe
I just
I
threw
should
a
not.
cuss at him.
Yeah.
You're a bird, and I'm like a tiger. I don't understand what you expect.
I expect you to be my friend.
Totally. Yeah. But I think it's a great method of choosing what we should do. We can either go around
Why
or
don't
not.
we just do what you want to do? If you're gonna cheat anyway.
I wouldn't call it like cheating. I'd call it finding a more manageable way to get to the end that we need.
Rory, just share with us what you want to do. This is an open forum.
Fine, then let's go around. Because I know I feel...
I did not anticipate that. Okay.
I feel like if I make the decision to go after the meat, then I'm just making a decision that's for the good of myself and not my friends.
I mean, that's all most of us ever do.
That's
as
probably your
people.
problem.
Well, but if you're hungry, you should eat something. You're not going to be much use if you're all...
Yeah. There's plenty, like, we could find something. I don't know, we'll find all kinds of things in there. Like, it's not selfish to want to take care of yourself.
It's not taking care of myself. I'm like, fine. I had some rats and I had some of that, like, juice.
Well, I'm going to go in the square because I'm hungry.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Do you see that guy with the eyes and the rocks?
Why would you say it's an open forum and then I give you my opinion and you're like, no.
Because you're self-sabotaging and you're doing it openly.
It's not necessarily self-sabotage. It's just making impulsive choices.
Well, you can go around if you want. I think we want to go through.
Why would you leave me behind just so you could go through the town? Fine, let's go through the stupid town.
It's like what she wants, right? I'm so confused.
Yeah. I don't know.
No one ever knows what I want. I'm a mysterious rogue character.
That's true.
Is there anything to eat?
Havana
So
no, I had
see.
a big ol'
so
talk about.
So as you enter the market square here, like the very first thing that you see is a enormous man, broad shoulders, kind of hairy arms, and he's turning a spit, which there are attached several animal carcasses, and he looks probably like what you would describe as like either somewhat ogreish or maybe half giant, right? He looks almost like
It's haggard.
a dwarf that is a size and a half bigger. So he's not the size of a hill giant, which is the smallest kind of giant, but he's closer to the size of an ogre. He's closer to like 9 feet tall. And he's turning this spit and he's like, ferret, fresh roast ferret, come get your ferret.
Ooh, street food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And as you're watching, like he takes takes this enormous iron fork and he stabs it into the carcass of the ferret and he peels it off the spit and then he dips it in this vat of boiling oil that he's got going next to him and like it sizzles up and he pulls it out.
It's deep fried too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I was working against my own interests.
We know. Get yourself a deep fried ferret.
2 quarts here. Get your fresh deep fried ferret. 2 quarts.
What's a ferret?
Yeah, 2 questions. How fresh is the ferret and what's 2 quarts?
Fresh. Give it a whiff.
Ah, yes, that definitely smells like 2 quarts worth. Anyway, what are 2 quarts?
Give me a knowledge, nature, or whatever. It's kind of wilderness survival, whatever.
What is it? Crystal quartz?
Well, if it's survival, then that will be an 18.
Okay, you can tell from the condition of the ferrets that he's got here. He must raise these things and butcher them probably every morning or whatever. They are fresh, So when he says fresh, like. They are freshly butchered.
They were my children only
They're
hours
fresh.
ago.
I loved each and every one of them.
Anyone want a little Herbert?
Oh, you named them. That's a terrible
Every
idea.
time I sell one of these, a little bit of me dies.
No. They're all named Herbert. Here's some Herbert. That's Herbert.
I
This
don't
is
want to
him.
get too attached.
This
I
is
want to count of them all dies.
this is Herbert the 2753rd. I number them, but I name them all the same.
I love them all the same.
Ferret. Who wants some fresh ferret? 2 quarts.
I'm dead inside.
I'm dead inside.
I'm so alone. I kill everything I love.
Oh, I never loved. I love these ferrets. Love eating them. Ferret. Get your fresh ferret. 2 quarts.
I'm not capable of love or deserving. Ferret.
Again, I am totally down to eat some ferret, but I'm sure that there requires some sort of payment or trade.
Yeah.
You say this 2 quarts?
2 quarts. And he reaches into a pouch that he's got at his belt, and he pulls out like a handful of crystals. Not like full-on gemstones, but like what you would consider to be sort of like cheap quartz crystals, and there's also like
I squint my eyes. I'm like,
and
were the
whatnot.
people we're talking to up at the keep made of money?
Were they made of money?
Yeah, were they?
No,
also
they were just
crystal
wearing
people?
it.
They were wearing the
I think
crystal.
they were
Okay.
wearing nicer things than that.
They weren't crystal people. They were okay. So they were wearing it.
No, they were
Crystal
clearly
clothes.
bug men underneath
You,
canvas.
you talk
They
to the
would be
2
bug-
monks.
Ah, yes, yes, the 2 monks.
So scary.
Oh yes,
Area.
their robes are manifestation robes.
Ah,
Manifestation.
how does one procure these quartz, or is there anything we might be able to trade?
Sure. Jorvin's never had a job before, and it shows.
What?
I
I have
can't
this
tell.
many monies.
What you do is you produce a good or provide a service, and then people will give you quartz in exchange.
Yeah, widgets. I get it.
Hmm?
You know,
Widget?
Oh,
widgets.
widgets. You want to talk to Grumbach? Grumbach sells widgets.
I like Grumbuck.
I mean,
I gotta warn you, Grumbach's a little weaselly.
Okay.
we can get jobs if you want, but there's very little I'm good at. If you need it, if you want me to fight someone, there you go.
Well, if that makes us money, Look, I just want to eat some food.
Can I pull out my box of mirror fragments?
Mm-hmm.
I've got some quartz. I've got some quartz.
Oh, those are silver shinies.
Is that better or worse?
Well, it's not as good as quartz, but I'll trade you half that box for a fresh ferret. Would you like a little Herbert?
How about we barter?
All right. Tell you what, you give me some silver shinies and I'll give you some Herbert.
Can I do a charisma check or a persuasion check?
Persuasion. All right. You want to do persuasion? Sounds good.
Oh, whoops! I missed my thingy. Do you want to count it or you want me to reroll?
Reroll.
Reroll. Well, good thing I rerolled. That's a 25.
Wow.
25.
Those are beautiful dice and a wonderful dice tray.
You can collect them all yourself from the one and only Kraken Dice.
Go.
Go check them out now on Twitter, Instagram, and their personal website.
All right. Thanks to Monstrosity Jones and the Bard 1971 and some other folks in our chat. Everyone gets 2 more chaos dice. That brings you up to 6. If
I
you
thought
like
you were going to be like,
to expend them,
they
at any
unlocked the
point.
new tier. Free ferret. Everyone gets a free dead
Everyone
ferret.
gets a ferret. All right. So, 25. He says. Well, so what's your counter offer?
I'll give you a quarter of the silver shinies in the box, and I'll play you a song. I'll read it about you. What's your name?
All right. I tell you what. I don't get much entertainment around here. For a quarter of your silver shinies and a song, I give you 2 ferrets. That's twice the Herbert.
Go for 4. Go for 4.
I want 4. I want 4.
Entertainment isn't cheap, and you know what you're worth.
I went to college.
Oh, your pet cat looks hungry. I'll throw in a third for free.
I say take that deal.
It's a compromise.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Deal. What's
Deal.
your name? Also Herbert.
My name's Mung.
Mung?
Your name's Mung?
M-U-N-G. Mung.
Great. What do you like to do for fun?
What do I like to do for fun? Well, pet me ferrets, stroke me ferrets, cuddle up with me ferrets, drive a dagger through the skull of me ferrets, skin me ferrets.
Great.
You seem very specialized.
Do you also use ferret as a euphemism?
Huh? Well, I'm sorry, what? I'm just a meager salesman here. I'm not familiar with your fancy off-world terminologies.
Okay, so Strum.
Oh, and then in my spare time, I also like to weave.
You like to weave like baskets or clothes or rugs or?
String together. Like this. And then he reaches into his pouch again, right? And he pulls out like a little cat's cradle, and then he does like this amazingly intricate cat's cradle for you. Huh? Whoa! And then, rah! And then it turns into a lion. Woo! And then the lion eats a bear. Rah! But the bear and the lion fight. The lion wins. Rah!
Is that illusion magic?
No, it's just weaving. I could teach you.
Oh, my hands are weird.
Oh.
I mean, they're normal for me. Your hands are weird.
Yeah, I nicked him up a lot. I lost a finger. Skinning ferrets.
Okay, she'll pull out her small guitar with the heart shape opening and sort of just improvise a tune for him as you can pass out the meat to you guys. I don't think Strum would partake in ferret, but
Oh, you know what? Alton's full. He's still so full from the party.
well, maybe like 2.
Oh my god, I totally love to. Could you make this one extra crispy.
Oh, you got a talking line, eh?
Awakened.
Actually, she's a saber-toothed tiger.
What's unusual about your teeth? Aren't they all like that? Oh, I didn't see they were all stuffed up in your mouth there. You have a tiger that can write with its teeth. That is unusual.
I tried.
Maybe that's how we make money.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Not only can this tiger write, but it can write two things. It can write the same thing twice. That's copies.
he's like, come here, you
Here
little,
we gotcha.
come here, you little Herbert. And he stabs one of the carcasses on the spit and he slides it off and then he plunges it in the oil extra long just for you. And it comes out just charred crisp, like a thick glaze of batter on there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
I have a song.
I'm ready.
Oh, there once was a man named Mung who will
That's my
reign
name.
forever young.
Oh, I hope so.
He killed all his ferrets,
That's true.
but boy did he still have merit.
Yeah, I like it.
And though he was a weaving, we hope he's never leaving.
Oh, eventually we all die, right?
That's it. That's
I
a
think
song.
Mung has a very healthy outlook on life.
Oh, that was amazing. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. You should play for the king.
Life
The
according to
king?
Mung.
Yeah, the king.
Who's the king?
There's a king?
Yeah.
Is it us?
Wait, is it?
I feel as if
Mormonar.
Tessarius left out some. Wait, what's his name?
I'm not wearing
King Mormonar.
I would dress much better if I were king.
You had a very tight king pants.
Yeah. Nice crown. Not too ostentatious, but enough to like show you I'm serious about
You would have
this.
a
His name
really
was Morion?
gaudy clown.
Mormonar.
Yeah, you're
Clown,
right.
crown.
King Mormonar.
Mormonar.
He's holding court right now, meting out justice. That's why it's so busy here today.
Where's he at? Where's his castle?
Castle? It lives over there. He points at the big brass obelisk.
That was funny. That's exactly where we're headed.
That's convenient. Must be 10 o'clock. Oi, what? Ferret, get your ferret. Have a little Herbert. Have you had a little Herbert today? Get a little Herbert in you.
No, yeah, we should hang out with Mung a little bit more. I took tomorrow off work, so I don't have to actually be up at 6 a.m.
Oh, Mung woke up at 5 this morning and had to shoot a big job. Oh, I'm so tired. Closing up shop. Sorry, everyone. I just got a quarter box of shinies and a brand new song. This is the greatest day of my life.
Is he being so genuine?
I think so. I think he's generally. It was a good song.
Thanks. Rory, you can have two, and then I don't think Alton wants one. So
No, I'm full.
do you want one?
Sure, I'll take one.
Okay.
You got a little
So-
ferret in you?
You got a
So
little ferret
You
in
want
you.
some?
While you are
Why is fair to meet euphemism?
while you're distributing your gains here, Alton, you do spy like the stand that is across the row from this thing has this enormously complicated copper tubing and pipe and tank and whatnot.
Meth.
Yeah,
Oh my
And-
god, Alton would love meth.
And
love it.
You can see
do
steam
nothing
coming off of it. It clearly has some sort of like boiler that is being fed by a fire and
It is
whatnot.
either espresso or it is moonshine. Either way, I want a lot of it.
Do you have some? Do you need to use my shinies?
I'm figuring something out. I don't know. They're your shinies, you know. They you earned them.
Well, everybody made fun of me for having this box full of broken
I never
glass,
once.
and
Did
it
I
finally
ever?
worked out.
If I did, I apologize. I certainly
Do
don't
you?
remember. Sure. Yes.
So there's a variety of people over there all sipping from very small cups.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Still not sure if it's espresso or
Looks
moonshine.
very
They look like
European, whatever
tiny
that
steel
means.
cups. Actually, that's the thing that's unusual about them, right? They're not clay or ceramic or
Oh,
anything like that. But
Christmas.
Drinking out of cups.
No heroin, it's heroin.
No. Ooh, I fucking love some.
Give me some.
Just
of
chase that
heroin.
dragon all day.
He's dead.
Yeah, we're on the dragon.
Alton walks up. It's like, oh, a busy day for the shop, huh? Just randomly saying that to people. I mean, I come here all the time. And it's just like, oh, so many people today.
So awkward. We're all gonna die unusually young.
And behind, from behind the machine, this enormous, elaborate machine that has like pistons on it and whatnot, you see a rather unusual-looking gnome. Right? The guy has a regular sort of like gnomish body, gnomish arms, torso, and whatnot, but his legs are twice as long as a gnome should be. So he's actually sort of like
So
normal
you know?
human height. Well, so it's weird. Like the top of his body is foreshortened, like a gnome's, like to scale to a gnome, but his legs are twice as long as any other normal gnomes would be. So when he stands and walks around, he's like 5.5 feet tall, right? Whereas most gnomes are like 4 feet tall,
Yeah,
3.5 feet tall, something like
I'm
that.
3.5.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling me his nomenclature?
Oh damn!
I couldn't resist.
So he like kind of walks up. It's like, so how's business today?
You were just saying it was good.
It's busy. Are you a member of the guild?
Am I a member of guild? Do you even have to ask?
Yes, that's how it works. Show me your signet ring if you're a member of the guild.
Show you my signet ring.
Do you just repeat everything everyone says, or
Do
you
I
actually...
just repeat everything? Do you hear what he says to
I
me?
am, yeah.
Ah,
You
Are
say
you a
it to
guild?
him?
Does he have a? Does
Do
this
you have a
other-
signet
Does this
ring?
gnome have a signet ring?
He is wearing a very
Show me your signet
large
ring.
ring on his left hand, but it has a metal cap over the top of it.
Oh.
show me your signet ring. See, that settles it then. Anyways, how's it going?
You're bad.
Business is booming. It's a busy day at the court.
Oh, well, yeah.
He was just saying that. He's observant.
Are you from the court? What is your name, fellow gnome?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm bringing my friends around. Please tell them about your business here and stuff. They don't know anything.
Yes.
My name is Dezilk.
Oh, Dezilk.
Mm-hmm. Are you interested in making a purchase or just idle chit-chat?
What is it that you sell, Dezilk?
Oh, have you not had Frostshine?
No.
They haven't. They don't even know what it is. Explain it to them.
Yes, we're a bit new to this area.
Oh, well, my friend, you are in for a treat of the most magnanimous variety. For a mere 5 quarts, you can experience a beverage unlike any other. It combines the taste and the aroma of coffee, but the intoxicating effects of a finely aged whiskey.
Yeah, it does what?
Ah. Well, then, Delzik, I have 2 other questions for you.
Dezilk.
Dezilk, sorry. What is
Bless
coffee?
me.
And whiskey is like a...
You have been living the life of a barbarian.
I agree. Now, this I agree with. What and how? And I said I didn't need shinies, but I might like some shinies.
Would you just have to convince him you're in the guild and I'm sure he'll just give it to you for free?
Oh, yes. So, obviously, as a guild member, such as yourself, I'm here for my free sample.
Yes, of course. Simply mention the name of the head of the guild, and I will be glad to dispense your free sample.
You really want me to say the name of the head? You're really going to put me through all of this?
Yes, embarrassing
now-
though it is, trivial though it may seem, I do wish that you would demonstrate your virtuosity and membership in the
So
guild.
let's do some role playing, like right now. Like if I were you right now,
Yes.
like you would come up to me and like it's like, hello, would you like your free sample? And you would say what?
I don't believe you're a member of the guild. I'm not sure what's wrong with you right now.
No, you're the person coming. No, you don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. If I were you,
Yes.
and you would say what?
I would say, please tell me the name of the guild master.
Oh, and I were you, I would say, are you going to ask me to tell you the name of the guild master? That's what I would say.
Good role play, good role
Can I do a perception check to see if I can notice anybody maybe talking about the head of the guildmaster? Let's just funnel it to.
Let's listen in.
Roll for eavesdropping.
It's a really good idea.
You said there's a bunch of people around. Someone's got to be talking about this fucker. Guildmaster Darren.
I would say, let's make this a hero's favor roll.
Fuck you! Come on!
I-
I'm so good at just perceiving shit.
Don't say
I
that
will
to the
do
guy that can
a-
murder you.
Huh?
So don't say that to the guy that don't murder you.
Kill me.
I
I'm
do.
ready.
Fucking do it, you coward.
The time has come.
You don't have to use your hero's favor so that Alton can
Well,
drink coffee.
Tom's fucking
whiskey.
making me because he's a butthole.
You don't have to pursue this, but you're sort of like, you know what I mean?
This seems reasonable. Eavesdropping
You can make a
shouldn't be
perception
whole-
check, but if you're successful on it, doesn't mean that it's happening right now.
Because
With hero's favor, I would allow you to sort of bend reality that somebody is actually, somehow you get some major clue about this.
I can do this myself.
Okay, you do
If
it.
Yeah. All right. I wanna
Alright.
just-
You're
like-
using your hero's
Hero's favor to
favor
drink
to
coffee with
sacrifice
you.
yourself?
Obviously. Totes. Yeah. So Alton's gonna go. So you're gonna make. You're really gonna stand there and say like if and like just try and like sort of like reverse psychology trick him into saying what this thing is.
Uh-huh.
All right. So that's
Oh no! Is that a 13?
Take the table reroll.
I don't think you can reroll
You
this.
can't reroll heroes.
No.
favors, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's going to be a. That's going to be a 7.
Wait, how is it a 7?
Because that's a 1, not a 10. Because
Oh.
it is a percentile.
Oh dear.
So
I mean, it felt like it was going that well.
Yeah.
No,
Well, the good news
it's
is
on brand.
I'm going to give you this
Strum's
back
Strum's
because you
like-
get to keep this.
So I was like, let me help you.
No,
okay?
I
You
got
push
this.
her
I got
face.
this. I got this. So let's both say his name on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bob. Fuck. Give me some.
Oh, please let me do it.
Oh boy.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Can I have some fake money?
Can I please interject something really quick?
Yes. Did that come out of your vagina?
Yours
No,
doesn't
it's
do
just
that?
a mythical object. Oh, worth it.
And all of a sudden, he turns to two other people who are, sitting at kind of like at the little bar here. There's not a bar per se. There's like a plank that has been like set up as just kind of a place to rest your drink or whatever. And he turns to two other creatures down there. One of them looks like a regular gnome, and the other one looks like a dwarf. And he says, "Spa, Uli, this man is trying to impersonate a member of the Brewmeister's Guild." And
Oh.
and all of a sudden, one of them, the dwarf, gets out a little whistle and begins like blowing it. And you look around and you see, like various gnomes and dwarves and whatnot who are busy at various other stands shopping for things and doing errands and whatnot. And all of a sudden, they all kind of like prairie dogs just like perk up and turn and begin to converge on.
Anyways, it's been fun. Bye. Bye. Come back. Go.
And,
Do I hear it?
And as you turn around, there's this enormous hand, and this is an ogreish hand that clamps down on your shoulder, and says, "Breaking the law."
Oh, whoa, hey, was I sleepwalking? Oh, it's so weird. Oh, where am I? It's so weird. I don't know what to do. Should I take my pants off? I don't know. I'm confused.
And Desil points at you, and he says to this ogreish creature, he says, "Yes, he was impersonating a member of the guild."
I was sent here from the king to prove that you guys are doing your job, and bully for you, you're doing it. You guys didn't let me in, and that was exactly what should have happened. Thank you all for this test. I shall be going now.
And the ogre says, "Oh, you'll be seeing the king, all right." And he grabs you, kind of like the back of your waistband of your pants and picks you up off the ground and slings you under his shoulder and begins walking down through the...
Do you have an atomic wedgie?
Yeah, he like slings him up and like puts him under his arm and like starts walking down through the path, through the mall here.
Once we get away, the other guild people aren't following, right?
Oh no, they want to see this guy punished for impersonating a member of the guild. There's a whole entourage that's following this enormous blue ogre like down through the middle of
I'm gonna be
the marketplace.
following that.
You're gonna die.
Mortem Interitum sends their reroll to Christina.
I want to thank you and like this coin. Thank you.
All right. So you march down, and at the back of the stone square marketplace here, there's a set of steps that goes down. And what you couldn't see from your perch high atop the bailey of the Ironkeep is that on the back side of this square mall, directly in front of the obelisk, there is a kind of an amphitheater-like structure, and the stands are filled right now. As you see at the far end of the amphitheater, there is a brass throne that has been erected in the kind of the center stage area, if you want to call it that. And you can see what looks like a man with very long, drawn, thin figures, almost a wedge-like shape. And he has a beard, or just a short chin beard that comes out and kind of curls up in front of him. And he is wearing very luxurious purple and gold robes. Or actually, it's gold colored. You can tell, when you give it a second look, it's actually like woven bronze, big strips of woven bronze that are embedded in the embroidery of his royal attire. And he is holding forth court and judgment, and then next to him is this enormous brute of a humanoid. He is probably not fire giant size, whatever the next size down is from that, right? But he is wearing a giant bronze helmet, bronze plate, shoulder armor and whatnot, and he has thick leather on his chest, thick leather armor, and also a leather pleated kind of like kilt or battle skirt or whatever you want to call it.
This is another ogre that's next to the king?
Yeah, it's another one of these ogre type creatures, but it is probably another full 4 feet taller than the one who's got young Alton slung under his arm, right? Okay. But this thing is wielding a very meaty kind of like warhammer in his hand, and every time that the king issues a pronouncement, he kind of like slaps it into his hand, and there's like a little like crackle that comes off of it, and.
Like almost like a gavel, like not like every time the king proclaims something, he kind of like smacks it. Does it seem official, or is it just him being intimidating?
It's just him being intimidating, right? Yeah.
It does make the law.
Am I near enough to him to ask him a question?
Dun, dun.
Well, not really, because you're at the top of if you want to think about this, the back of the wall goes here, right, of the market square, and then there's this amphitheater that is fairly,
Well,
Why
since
did
I
you
can't,
flip
I'd
off
like
that
to
group of
say,
small
what's
children?
the ogre under
fuck
on us
kids.
getting out of this
Don't
alive? Be here all week.
So it's this big courtyard. There are two enormous braziers on either side that are filled with roiling coals and flame that send curlicues of smoke up. And the king atop the throne says, "I shall not suffer another one of your indulgences. If you are caught stealing again, it shall be the death penalty."
Ooh.
He's really aggressive.
The guard marches Alton down the middle aisle down here and kind of like tumbles you down onto the stage.
Well, that's rude. Perfectly fine working legs.
And Dezilk steps forward, and the king says, "What offense is this man accused of?" And Dezilk says, "He's impersonating a member of the guild."
Barely.
of a guild.
Like a little, like barely.
"Well, Mr. Fancy, what do you have to say for yourself?"
How far away are they from like where the king is? Like, what's the distance?
Well, so, they're at sort of the base of this dais that the king is on. And you're sort of at the top of the amphitheater here. So it's about 80 feet from you to them. They're probably 20 feet away from the king.
20 feet.
Okay.
That's pretty far, right? What does 20 feet in here look like? Like to that camera? Or farther?
To that's
To that camera.
I would say the whole
farther.
room is 30 feet long,
Yeah.
Okay.
if I had to guess. So from the curtain back to the room, that's about 20 feet, I would
Okay.
guess.
Okay.
But how far is it from the window to the wall?
Oh, skeet, motherfuckers!
Skeet, goddamn.
Oh, skeet,
goddamn.
mother truckers. All skeet,
I said, what do you have to say in your defense?
Look, I saw an opportunity, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm very new here, and I'm not going to say that I made mistakes. Yes, I'm man enough to admit when I was wrong. I was flustered. I literally just found out everything I know has been destroyed today, and I haven't eaten in so long. And I'm sorry that I channeled that anxiety into the interaction with this man and his shop.
A truly sad and sorry set of excuses. Dezilk, what is your evidence? I offer my own word and the word of these two witnesses which I have brought with me. Furthermore, we demand justice, Your Honor. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, and therefore we demand this man be sentenced to hard labor in the mines.
Well, what do you have to say about him having the guild ring? Crowd gasps. I cast Major Image. I cast Major Image on Alton's hand to create the guild master's ring.
Okay.
It works. For 10 minutes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So if I say that and you look at me,
Yeah,
I'm gonna wink at you.
Yeah, and
Because you know I can't keep it up very long.
Yeah, and I'm like, an ignorance of your master isn't a crime in and of itself, is it not?
It's on his middle finger.
You broke Tom.
And Dezilk says, if this truly is the guild master's ring, open it up and show us the sigil within.
I have never had to deal with so much indignity in my life. Can I just say that for you to parade me out like this and demand, after seeing the ring, for me to open it up, do I demand of you? No, because I prescribe a certain amount of respect to a man of your stature. And I would expect maybe a modicum of respect bestowed upon me. Is that too much to ask?
Why don't you show us yours and then we'll know you're really in the guild?
Yes, how do I know that this man, as leader of the guild, has not faked his way into the guild?
Impersonator. Please do it in the next 8 minutes, though.
Your Highness, let us end this charade now and sentence both him and his scurrilous friend here to hard labor in the mines.
What is your deal with hard labor? You're always talking hard labor all the time.
I have hollow bones. I can't.
I don't know this very seemingly wonderful person. I don't know.
Wait, you don't know me?
I'm trying to say I did spare you.
Irons for both of them, I say.
I feel like we are at an impasse where both of us have rightful claims to guild membership, and I believe the only way to solve this is trial by combat. I'm sorry,
Tom,
it's all I know.
Tom,
It's all.
just completely side question, totally unrelated. Is there anything that I can light on fire around here?
Well, as I mentioned, there are these 2 braziers that are already on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that counts.
I
mean,
knock over the other.
I'm just saying, is there? Yes, there's.
Burn it to the ground!
Some sort of distraction.
Sorry,
I want to make sure that this can play out how you want. I'm just thinking of ways that we might.
If your ring disappears and you get called out, we'll
yeah,
set
yeah.
shit on fire.
I'm just trying to line up a second line of Oh, sorry. Continue.
I am willing to put my guild membership to the test of trial by combat. Excuse me one moment. Can you turn back time? He said something about time with that stick. Can we go back in time and not do all of this?
Why do you think I use that?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, I don't want to have to kill a bunch of people, but
I just heard the sound of Hero's favor being spent.
I'm trying to think if we want to go to the mines. Why are we here?
to find the stick.
Is the rod reacting? Maybe it's pointing down and we want to go to the mines.
You have not attempted to use the rod at this point. You're busy concentrating on your spell, right?
Spare the rods, spoil the strum. What does it mean? Like spare the rod, spoil the child. As far as if you don't discipline your child.
Yeah,
Never heard of that.
yeah.
Really?
It's a
Never-
saying.
It's
you
a biblical
you should
verse.
beat your child with a rod, otherwise they'll grow up
Spare the
bad.
rod, spoil the child. Your child's gonna be an asshole if you don't discipline them.
Yeah, you gotta beat them with a rod constantly, otherwise they'll be bad people.
But in this sense, it's like if you don't use the rod, then your friend might die.
Oh.
No, like at worst, I'm gonna fight somebody in a duel and kill them.
I don't. Okay.
You have a lot of confidence in your
I just
trial by combat abilities.
I just don't think we have time to go back in time.
yeah, that's fine.
Wouldn't that like?
Okay.
Can we change time here if you do it?
No, Christina. No.
Not Christina. Roar wants to know if we can change.
That did not sound like Roar.
Go back in time, make me guildmaster for real season.
I really worked hard on that ring.
Yeah, it's
If
fantastic.
you just opened it, I could see what it was and I could fix it.
I know. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to kill this man in combat.
We may have to kill everybody.
Yeah. We may have to. I don't know how comfortable Jorvin is with murder. I know, regardless, is probably
Pipe in any time, guys.
I'm
so the
sorry.
king-
I'm
the-
just,
we have a
I'm
plan.
just watching
The king
you
at
guys
this point
sink into
says-
quicksand. I'm like, I don't know what else to do.
The king at this point says, "Enough of this foolishness. There is only one way to settle a matter between fools, and that is with more foolishness. It will not be a trial of combat.
Like, what?
Yes.
Merriment?
It will not be a trial by combat. Dezuk, what sort of contest would you prefer since you have incurred the charges here? Dezuk says, well, of course, Your Highness. You know I would request a trial by drink.
Oh, this is
Ooh.
so fucking.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh no.
This-
Oh no. Oh no. I'm so scared. I'm so scared about this.
I'm like about to push over one of
Yeah,
the
you're like,
braziers.
I gotta save. Oh.
You're under it and you're like,
Oh, drinking.
Got this. He's got
Never mind.
you accidentally knock it over and accelerate.
So, the king says, and what do my loyal subjects think of this? And there's this huge roar that goes throughout the crowd. Yeah, they're absolutely on top of it.
Are you a royal subject?
No, I'm a huge roar that goes through the crowd.
Oh,
Large beast.
And so the king claps his hands, and somebody brings a wheeled cart out, and the king says, "Dezuk, I assume you have something which you a favored drink," and Dezuk kind of like nods, and he points at one of his flunkies there, and they bring out this steel canister. And they slowly unscrew the top. And inside is a bottle that is also crafted of steel. And as they pop the top off, you can see that it begins to kind of fulminate a little bit. There's like wisps of like steam or vapor that come off of it. And it begins to bubble right at the neck. And Dezuk takes a pair of tongs and twists off the top. And, it overflows down the side. And he pours this thick purple syrup into 6 different cups. And he says, 3 drinks apiece, if one can finish 3 drinks.
Goodness gracious.
what are they?
We call it worm's tail.
Ooh, that sounds good.
So, yeah, okay.
I want some of that.
All right.
Is this a constitution thing?
It is a constitution save, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he has +5 on this roll, and he has advantage because he has experience with this drink.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go best out of 3.
Cool.
There goes inspiration. All right. So the crowd waits with bated breath, and Dezuk gives you a toast.
Are you at disadvantage?
No, I was at advantage.
Okay.
17.
23. All right. The good news is that the first drink is a DC 14. So you both make it. Kip it back. Of course, it's the first drink. Yeah, no problem. The second drink is a DC 18 Constitution save.
I'm gonna cast Enhance Ability on Alton.
How close do you have to be for that?
Touch. But I've been right by him the whole time.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna try and do this stealthily?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, you got this. You got
I
this,
know.
Alton.
I know.
Alton, you got this.
All right. Give me a stealth roll.
Okay. I'm also very stealthy. I'm really good at
I have to give you
everything.
disadvantage on this because you have so many people watching
Oh,
you.
shit on a dick? Well, it can't get worse than that. If I reroll, do I reroll both of them, or do I reroll?
You reroll both. Yeah, if you have disadvantage, you reroll both.
Okay, so now it costs 2 for the second reroll.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that got worse.
It's 3 for the third one.
Are we gonna lose half of our group?
Okay, this has to be better. I'm gonna roll one now. Oh, 20. So that's gonna be a 13.
13, huh? All right.
You
Mm-hmm.
said stealth?
Yeah.
Or sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand, if you want to make a sleight of hand.
Then it would be 15.
15, huh? All right. Just going to make a single roll here for the crowd. Let's say everybody's at +3.
Shit. Oh, no, that... Oh, meats. Fuck.
All right. So you do cast the spell. It does go off, but you see one of the... you see one of the... Yeah, so it's Uli. Uli's like,
Something doesn't look right there.
and so
You're just doing that to the dude. Just, oh, it doesn't look right, no? Doesn't look right, does it?
Let me turn it up for you.
Yeah.
Maybe just read between the lines.
Dezo turns to the king and says, "Your Highness," and the king nods, and then Dezo turns around and he pours a 4th drink.
He's such a tattletale, Desi.
So the spell works, but...
The spell works, but you have to take a 4th drink. So the second one is at DC 18.
I think... Oh, sorry, hold on. I've had this spell for so long and I've never gotten to use it. So you get... So target advantage on Constitution checks, and you also gain 2d6 temporary hit points.
Okay.
So in case this hurts you, I guess.
So...
Now there are 2 table rerolls.
Yeah, I'm
here.
going to take one of those.
Mm-hmm. All right. Very good.
Then do I want to... Yeah, I'm going to use those table rerolls. No, because I can't reroll again, so I'm going to do some wild dice.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Nobody ever uses these.
Nobody does.
Kyle used so much.
I guess we're gonna leave it up to the roll of the die.
I have nothing. My only reroll is, or do I?
It's in the bag there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you dropped it in your dice
Oh,
tray.
okay. I was like, I know I have one, but that was.
I took it. You don't deserve it
I had
anymore.
nothing left for from last week.
Okay, so that's going to be...
One negative.
Yeah, so that's 18, but plus 6, so that's 25.
All right.
20, no.
So this one was DC 18. So you both drink the second shot of Wormtail, no problem.
Okay.
All right. The third one goes up by a further 4. This is DC 22.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you rolling with disadvantage now?
No, advantage. So that's going to be 14 plus 6.
It's 20.
20.
Mm-hmm. I only got a 21, so I'm going to use one of my rerolls. That's double 7s. That's worse. I'm going to use 2 more of my rerolls to reroll that one more time because I don't think he wants to fail this one, although you're both probably going to fail. All right, that's as far as I'm going to go with that. So he got a DC. He got an 18. He missed by 4.
It's a little better, but we
And you got a 20.
Yeah, 20.
So you missed by 2. So you're both. Essentially poisoned at this point, right?
Okay.
So he loses his advantage because he now has disadvantage on saves. So he's rolling straight up, but you're rolling at disadvantage.
Well, he still has my.
Oh, you have
the thing
advantage from
lasts
the-
up for an hour.
Straight.
From
As
advantage.
long as I don't lose concentration, it's up to an hour.
Oh, so it's a concentration spell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well that means your ring goes away.
Well, but it's in your pocket or something.
All right.
You're all gonna die.
Very good. So this is the
I thought they had
fourth
already
one,
determined
right?
he wasn't
This-
a part of the guild, and that's why this was happening.
And this is that's fine. This is a DC 24.
24.
Mm-hmm. So he needs a 19 or higher.
Not great.
Oh, that's not good.
Wait, are you not rolling? Oh, you just canceled out the disadvantage.
Yeah.
No, 19, he makes it.
I'm gonna take that table reroll. And I will reroll everything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, just so I know how bad this is gonna be.
Oh, nice.
18. That's 25.
Ooh.
You get 25. All right. Very good. So he got a 24. You got a 25. You beat him out. And, you know, honestly, like, everyone is amazed when you get to the third, like, you get to the third shot and you both kind of,
Yeah,
like,
we're just
feel like hit you, you know? And everybody's like, oh, here it comes.
Can I do that thing that Miriam does in Indiana Jones where she's like,
and does look, you know, kind of like turns a little bit too, and digs in it, and he slams his down at the same time. And then he kind of looks at you and waits for you to keel over, and you don't. And he waits another moment, and he looks back at Uli and Spa, and they look at each other, and they're waiting. And the king says, well, Dezulk. And Dezulk says, if this man is not already a member of the Brewmeister's Guild, then he has earned his initiation, and he shall be.
You shall be.
yeah,
You could be bigger forever.
fantastic.
During that time, I will be running. I will be like moving through the crowd, yelling at my own voice and using minor illusion to like, you know, like, oh, that's Alton, champion of blah blah. Yeah, Alton, top boy. Just like trying to have the crowd like
that.
yell out like recognition
Swiftly
and
painting
praise.
top boy signs.
Penance. Just
Anything I can, just get it out there.
Mm-hmm. All right. And the king says, well, then, I believe justice has been served. And you see the big, giant, blue ogre guy go, justice has been served. Wham, wham. And there's like sparks and crackles that come off of his hand as he slams his warhammer into his fist.
does his warhammer look like it's made from a piece of the rod?
How would you like to determine that?
With my eyes.
With your eyes?
Don't you have the thing
Yeah,
that
you
like
Give me a perception check.
With my rod.
Put that rod out.
That's not good.
You got.
Actually, it's not bad.
Yeah,
It's a
you're-
13.
You're great at that.
Mm-hmm. You look at it. The thing that strikes you is like the warhammer is this huge rune-encrusted kind of blob of metal that's roughly, carved into this huge block, and but as he's, and the handle is wrapped in leather and it has this big thong that goes around his wrist. But as he slams it into his hand and kind of draws it back, you can see that the wooden part of the handle is sticking up through the top on the warhammer head, right? And you catch just a quick glimpse, but it looks like the haft of the weapon is made out of black walnut.
Which is the same as my wand. I'm a wizard, Harry! Sorry. Is that what you meant?
Well, yeah, but all of our things were black walnut, like all.
Yeah, we all had a black walnut thing and never
We can
once.
all
Why
be
can't y'all
wizards.
just let her have her moment?
No, I'm just
We
gonna.
can all be wizards. It's okay.
No, I'm just saying we all
I
had.
appreciate
Y'all
you.
some haters.
We all had a magical.
Sorry.
We all had a magical black walnut thing, and never once did we tell each other about it or be like, "Oh, by the way, my," and go, "That's funny."
I
that's what we did."
never used mine.
Yeah,
Not
we,
once.
We never were like, "Hey, it's funny that we all have a thing that's wood and then there's a."
I use mine all the time, but never to the advantage of the group.
I use mine.
or
You just
or
always go
myself.
around talking about your wood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much we're on message.
I mean, I talk about my cloaca a lot.
Yes.
Too much, really.
Yeah.
I mean... The people
Too
love
much.
it. You want to hear my song I wrote about it?
I do.
More than
Yes.
Next week. $500, $500, and I'll write a song about Strum's cloak.
Oh boy.
I'll do it. I will.
Will you please do it
I
to the
don't
beat
know
of the thong song?
Let me see that
Clo, clo, clo,
cloak.
clo. Baby,
No.
make that clo go,
Oh, God.
Why does it make that clo go,
Okay. What were we actually doing?
I just
Oh.
became a member of the Brewmasters Guild.
Heck
Wait,
yeah,
okay,
you
so
do.
you're busy. I'm gonna go over to you guys and be like, okay, so we solved that, but I think maybe I know where another piece of the rod is.
Yes, I saw it too.
Did you?
Well, it's the sparky thing that he had, right? Was it? Is that?
Did you really?
With the
What?
ogre?
When did you do that?
Yeah.
Wait, you guys saw it?
He made the sparks come out of the thing. That wasn't normal.
We live in a world of magical items. What do you mean it's not normal?
I mean, like, it's normal
Alton
in
wouldn't
a
have seen
sense
it.
that, like, yeah, like, sparks fly, but, like, we also looked over at you, and I think your thing's, like, glowing.
Is it glowing?
If it's near another,
You
wouldn't it
haven't,
be?
as far as I know, you haven't used.
It's like a dowsing rod, so I think it like pulls and pushes.
But only when you're
Gently.
How
concentrating.
do we
Not like
activate
glows.
it? Like, do we know how to activate
Concentration.
You have
I've
to
already
concentrate
used it
on-
like
okay.
twice.
it?
What are
Oh,
you
okay. I
talking
was.
about?
To my knowledge, you have not used it here in the amphitheater.
No,
Yeah. So how do you guys know unless you're married?
you're.
We're the bad guys.
Yeah. We're the baddies.
All of a sudden, Badger's face rips in half. You see the shrouded mummy figure that rises up.
Chewbacca?
Our faces become covered with those same cloths.
That's it.
We've got robes made of nice material.
Were those people evil?
We don't know.
No one knows.
Oh my god.
All right. But so you, who has the rod? Did you find one? Did you find another
You
piece?
said you knew.
I
Don't
said that looks
patronize me.
suspicious.
God,
I'm retconning.
so embarrassing. I just thought.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on your toes.
Hey
I
guys.
don't have toes.
Guys, I'm
I just have feet.
I don't mean to step on your crow's feet.
I'm
They're not
whoa.
crow's feet. They're Strum feet.
I'm drunk. My chair's broke.
Oh, it is bro. You broke it.
It's been like that. It's
What did
always
you
And this
do?
is where we just descend into debauchery.
We can't have nice things. Oh, Dom's mad. Oh, he's here. Oh, he's here. I
It was
feel
already
Yeah,
like
I
that,
can-
Dom.
I feel his
His
glare.
steely gaze upon us.
It's a look of
What'd you
consternation.
do, Eric?
I'm drunk.
Roll for consternation,
I'm
Dom.
drunk. I'm drunk. I'm drunk.
Okay, so at this point, the king sort of claps his hands and stands up, and everybody in the amphitheater rises, and they shout, all hail Mormenmar, all hail Mormenmar, all hail Mormenmar, and he kind of turns around and walks behind the dais here and goes through an archway, and his big, hulking bodyguard, turns around and follows him and departs into the bronze obelisk. The party has located the second piece of the Rod of Seven Parts. How they decide to procure it, we will find out next week on the Ironkeep Chronicles. Bum, bum, bum.
We laid this so long. What did we get done today? All we did was a drinking contest.
Yeah, we
What?
bought
We
some
found
ferrets,
What's the ferrets?
and then I
know, but I imagine we were
managed to get
supposed to-
free booze.
I'm just glad we made it into the city. I thought that we were going to get explained what made up the multiverse the entire time by shard people.
Me as a person.
They're not shard people.
Your planar cosmology is boring.
They're not shard people. They're oogie boogies wearing shard robes.
Yeah, sorry, whatever.
We did
You're
agree with that.
speaking words.
Hey everyone, let's have a big round of applause for Mr. Kyle Caps.
Hey, that guy.
I know
Thank
him.
you.
Kyle, you got anything you want to promo?
Nope.
Love it.
Do
Love
you have any
it.
art you want to share with us?
Yeah, I did the start of
Whoa,
Oh my
that's
God.
the islands.
Did you just do that today?
He's been doing it this whole time. It's amazing.
Yeah, I did it now.
So-
this
You should
was the
like
dragon.
Like I know.
You should get a job.
You should get a job in animation and like drawing and
You'd be
stuff.
totally good.
I think
Yeah,
you'd be
right,
good.
yeah,
You'd be so
Point
good.
at the little cannon.
Oh my god, it moves. I hate it.
There
I love it.
we go. Yeah.
Very cool. Are you going to post this on your Insta or your Twitter?
Yeah, I
or-
was thinking about like maybe
Discord?
touching it up maybe a little more tonight or something like that, and throwing it up on Instagram. My Instagram is at Kyle Illustration, and my Twitter is at KJC Illustration.
Very good. Very good.
So
If you follow us on Twitter here at Saving Throw Show, we often tag Kyle in or retweet his art, but definitely give him a home original follow too, just to see what sort of interesting projects he's up to.
yeah, I have art and from my other games that I run, as well as like I have other people at my table that draw and throw stuff up as well. So
Right. Yeah. Cool. Christina Ariel, everyone.
Hi, my name is Christina Ariel, and you can find me on the internet on all the things at Christina Ariel. But it's KRYSTINA ARIELLE, and make sure you don't forget that because it's not spelled CHRISTINA, it's KRYSTINA because my mom was cool. But I do want to say a thing real quick. So the shirt is for Jasper's Game Day, and it is a group that raises awareness for suicide prevention and for people that uses gaming to help people that have suffered through suicide to cope and to just find another outlet, and I think it's really great. And so shout out to Finway Jones and Satine Phoenix for that. And speaking of Satine Phoenix, you can watch me every Tuesday on Sirens of the Realms on twitch.tv/DND. And Monday we will be back on facebook.com/NerdBot Media, where I host Nerd Talk Live every Monday. And we have a really special guest coming up on my birthday episode, January 28th, because it's Christanuary, motherfuckers. It's my birthday. It's going to be good stuff.
That was
And then,
just so
yeah,
nice and then so
Wednesdays,
aggressive.
come see me on Saving Throw Show. I got a little roar for you. Regardless of your affiliations, let's play.
Wow, that was a full-on.
I felt so
You
many
asked
emotions.
me. Yeah.
I felt so many
Was it a
emotions.
roller coaster?
It's a
Did you
roller-
feel like
Yeah,
you
there
just
was
like
so
really
much
was.
going on,
I'm scared. I'm horny.
Oh, really?
I'm just like, yeah.
especially with mine
Baby
being
mama.
like, nope.
It's okay, we have a child already. We know how this
And her
goes
name
down.
is Poutine.
Polenta Carlisle. Her name is Polenta
Her
Carlisle.
name is Polenta
Polenta
Poutine
Poutine.
Carlisle.
We gotta get poutine.
We got
Nacho
it in Canada.
Grande Supreme.
No, there's a poutine place in Hollywood.
Yeah, the one
The
with
be-
the Canadian
yeah,
one. with
the one
guy.
right next
I'm
to
sorry.
Trey was talking.
We're
both-
Point of order:
Poutine.
the best poutine place is in Pasadena.
Where?
He's
He's not gonna tell you.
You have to look it up. You have to look it up, but it is legitimately like my Canadian bride will inform you that is legit the best authentic poutine in the city.
My Canadian bride.
That's true. I married a Canadian.
No one calls their wife
So
their
you married a
bride.
Canadian.
Listen,
Oh,
that's
man.
just the start of it. Who's gonna end it? Havana Mahoney will end it. Hey, Havana Mahoney is here.
Eric doesn't exist.
I haven't gotten to Eric
He's
yet.
drunk.
Eric is a postscript. He's a footnote.
Oh my god. No, I want Eric to go now.
Eric Reichert, everyone.
Hey,
The most
Eric.
important part of the show, the core
Oh
of
my
what makes this
God.
D&D group a great, entertaining experience, week in, week out.
Today was
The
such
dedicated-
an Alton episode, and you're totally
Right, yeah.
discounting him.
He just grabbed that steering wheel and slammed us into a wall.
It was hilarious.
By slammed you into a wall, I mean got you to the king.
Yeah, whatever.
Can we just like acknowledge the dichotomy between like Eric and Alton and the humbleness? So it's a thing.
It's
But-
a contrast.
They both have a great ass.
Alton's got.
I'm trying to think if I've seen your ass
Second
Me,
before.
you
Roll
haven't.
for butt. Roll for butt.
I mean, I haven't done squats in a while. It's been hard with my day job. Hi everyone, my name's Eric. You can follow me on all the social medias at Mostly Shit. You can follow me on my Twitch channel, Mostly Eric, where I stream 4 days a week at this point. And you can catch me coming this Monday here on Saving Throw. I'm going to be part of a 3-part mini-campaign of Mutants and Masterminds, a superhero RPG here on the channel run by Michael Holmes. It should be a lot of fun.
Do you know what kind of hero you're playing? Are you allowed to talk about it?
I haven't the slightest idea what I'm playing. He messaged and he's like, any thoughts? I'm like, I'll get back to you.
And you didn't.
Speedster, gravity controller.
I don't know. I might just play the character I played in when I played City of Heroes.
Like the online, the
Yeah.
MMO? Oh my god. Right.
Very good, very good. Anybody else we need to mention? I can't think of.
My best friend, Havana, Mahoney.
Yeah.
Oh, Havana Mahoney! Yes.
Thank you. I would like to God. Hi. Yes. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Thanks for all the sub love and the donos and the biddies and stuff. You can find me 5 days a week on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Vanna. That is VANA. Where I play variety games. I'm actually on Friday. Tomorrow's my day off, but Friday I'm starting a blind playthrough of the complete Uncharted series, which I've never played before, and so that should be fun. It's not a new game, but hey, thank you. What the fuck? Why?
Vampire
What?
54. Well, there's a little something in the chat that could still. There's still time to unlock.
Is the Cloaca song in there?
Oh, I think you're gonna find it's just as good if we get there.
Like today?
Like today.
How close are we?
That's a good
What?
question.
What?
Well, if they
Shenanigans
unlock
of
it
Omar
today, then
Shenanigans
it shows up
in the
next
chat.
week, or
But I have other projects coming up I can't talk about, so the best way to find out about those is follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Havanarama, HAVANARAMA, and that's it. That's it. Are you going to PAX South? I'm not. Have fun.
Neither am I.
It starts tomorrow.
Yup.
Enjoy.
Have fun. Be
Go see
safe.
musicians.
Respect people's space. Okay, thanks.
Consent is
everyone
sexy.
like they're human beings who deserve.
Right, and not objects.
Very good. So I want to give a big shout out to everybody who either used their sub to donate a reroll to our players. I'm going to have to tally those up for next session because
I have one. Write one down for me.
You have
I
one.
don't have any.
No, oh, you have
I've
none.
never
I have
given
you
any.
have one and
sold
you have
two
one.
for
I
the
have
table.
one, yeah.
Okay,
You
Great.
deserve them.
very good.
You needed them.
There's that. I want to give a special thanks to everyone who contributed to the factions. You saw a little bit of the faction stuff in play. I decided to impromptu create that encounter with the Brewmeisters Guild. It probably would not have been the Brewmeisters Guild if they had not been leading in the faction donations this evening. So again, if you do ! Factions, you can
That's
join the
so
cause.
cool.
And I think I will probably continue to sort of pursue that as the various factions pull ahead. But again, if you have influence points, if your faction unlocks influence points, you get much more powerful. Just get much more powerful. Let's put it at that. Let's keep it at that.
That's cool. I didn't
Speaking
know
of much more powerful, thank you to everyone who donated in the chat. You have, especially most recently here, Vampire 54, but including everyone, whether you donated a bits or a couple bucks or whatever you threw in the kitty, because thanks to you, you have unlocked a party level up tonight at the end of the session. So everyone will be level 6 coming into next session. Very good. Thank you so much for your donations. It is how we keep the lights on. It's how we pay the rent. It's maybe how we fix the ceiling here.
Is there a leak in here?
Yeah, there's multiple. Yeah, we actually we ruined some books
air
because
conditioner, and then there's a hole that we drilled at some point that water was coming out. It stopped.
yeah, it was probably stopped raining.
The
That's
rain
probably what's
drops
going
keep
on.
falling on my head.
So it's a hot mess in here, but thanks to
really
your financial contributions, I think we'll be able to. I mean,
literally put a roof over
we
it.
didn't ruin anything that's super important, but honestly, like it is through your support that we're
Just
able
an
to.
original Advanced D&D signed by Gary Gygax, but not enough.
Nothing important.
Yeah, all right. It
Christina
is.
shits her pants.
It is- it is solely through your contributions and your subscriptions that we're able to bring you the fine entertainment that you see each and every night on the channel. Speaking of which, this has been the Ironkeep Chronicles. Maybe you're watching on the replay tomorrow here on Thursday. On Friday night, we have the premiere episode of Wild Cards. Wild Cards is back. East Texas University. Am I right about that? So tune in for an all new characters, all new adventure arc. It's even an all new genre. Am I right about that, Dom?
Yep.
Contemporary
There's
genre.
no cowboys at this high school.
No, that has been retired.
It's a mistake.
Join DJ Jordan Caves Callerman and his crew of wily misfits, including Mr. Dom Zook here, for the premiere episode of this new season, brand new campaign arc of Wild Cards West Texas University. Saturday at 1 p.m. Is this correct? We're going to be hosted on D&D. Is that right? No, it just says on D&D here for no reason.
The rerun of our Starfinder game will be on Paizo.
Okay, well that's not at all what it says on here. Yeah, so scratch that out. So you can catch the rerun of Tyler's Starfinder game that ran last night. You can catch that on Saturday afternoon. On Sunday, of course, is this a third installment for Mr. Rick Budd? America's GM Rick Budd is running the third and I believe final installment of Tempting. Well, maybe not. It certainly has been popular of Tempting Fate Into the Spider-Verse.
Heck yes.
So that's a hack of Lasers and Feelings, the Lasers and Feelings game that they run regularly here on Tempting Fate. Sunday at 5 o'clock. Join us for all the action there for part 3 of our Into the Spider-Verse with special guest star Xander, right? Isn't Xander sitting in? He was last week. Is there a special guest this week?
Yes.
And
Xander.
Join Rick Budd and a special guest this week.
Hashtag not Xander.
Hey, speaking of special, I want to give a special thanks to all of our moderators who keep the channel safe, friendly, clean, and accessible. I want to give a big shout out to DJ Regular, who is our Clipmeister extraordinaire. You can catch all of the extreme clipping action over on our Discord channel if you'd like to continue the conversation. We'll check in there. We have forums for the Ironkeep. We have forums for Wildcards. We have forums for just talking about general what's going on with Saving Throw Show. You can check that out on our socials. I'm sure somebody's popped that up in the chat here.
Get tickets to Gen Con.
That's
Hang
right.
out
Gen
with
Con
us.
registration started
I saw
on
you.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's just to get your badge reg, and you need your badge reg in order to get in the Hotelapalooza, right? So
Which is
make that happen.
When's that coming
when's
out?
hotel? Huh?
27.
The 27th of January.
Oh,
here.
wow.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I gotta get my ticket.
So coming soon, people. That's
Pretty
11
sure.
short days away.
The 27th, 2 days before January 29th, the greatest day in the history of the world, Christanuary.
January,
Hey everybody, I've had a great time. I'm at 6 hit points on Twitter. You can hit me up with questions or comments or whatever have you. Otherwise, just follow us at Saving Throw Show and join in all the madness that we have here on the channel. Until next time, let's dungeon!
Now hey-yo, you rascals with your bellies full of pie, and listen to this tale of old where the heroes both feet high. Hey, the master of concealment and an adept disguise, which uses when he's seeking faster husband but to lie. He's slain many a villain, be a dragon or wizard. He's looted chests of all the best of treasures.